You show me love that I never had seen before. Now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again. 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 I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again. 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 We can fly again.
Atomic particles traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Slowly begin, like a
slows down close to the speed of light, special relativity provides us with a means of going to the stars.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me. I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground so we can fly again. 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 I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground so we can fly again. 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 Oh, we can fly again.
Atomic particles traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature. down close to the speed of light, special relativity provides us with a means of going to the stars.
Gentlemen, and welcome back to Simplay Motorsport. Here for a... Oh, dear. What time of day is this? Is it daytime? Yeah, it is. Is it daytime? I can't quite see the time of the race. I can't quite see what the... We'll go on board somebody here, Nicky. I'm actually a bit confused as to why the lights are so bright. Can't tell at the minute, chat. No, it's the wrong time of day. So let's hope qualifying's right, because it's the wrong session time. So for a well done from me. This isn't a night race. This isn't an early morning race. It is the wrong session time. So apologies for that one. But we will be here midday race. I can't quite see the time of the race. It's brilliant, isn't it? But I'm Matthew Duffin in the commentary box once again on the Thursday night, joined by my partner in crime, Nicky Davis. Nicky Davis. Yeah. That's Dan's mum, not you. But yeah, either way, here with Nicky on a Thursday night. Nicky, how are we?
I'm good, mate.
Well done from me. I'm very well, thank you. Are we feeling better than last week? So apologies for that one.
Yeah, feeling a little better.
But we will be here midday race.
I've got to apologise to Dan for not turning
time of the race.
Sunday.
Brilliant, isn't it? But I'm Matthew Duffin in the commentary box once again on the Thursday night, joined by my partner in crime, Nicky Davis. Nicky Davis. You missed an absolute cracking race. But you are not seeing things, ladies and gentlemen. That is snow falling here at Fuji. And yeah, what a time for the snow to fall. It is absolutely horrendous out there. Snow and rain all night long for these guys. I tell you what, I think we dodged a bullet with last night's conditions.
Yeah, I'm glad that we weren't in these conditions. It was a bit of a nightmare on the first race in turn one, and yeah, glad we've not got snow, ice, rain, wind. What else is coming? Thunder.
Nothing else as far as we're aware. We're just gonna have to make sure what's going to happen. He has just spun. Speaking of Andy, many tip for poles this season in Q1. He's very fast in qualifying, but what can he do in the snow in that BMW tonight?
It's going to be quite interesting, really. I'm feeling the Porsches, to be honest. I think the Porsches are going to be a little bit... They've got more weight over the rear end, so I think they're going to be a bit more settled in these conditions than the other cars.
We'll have to wait and see, because Gary Leach is on his way back from hospital at the minute. He's just had the birth of his daughter. Can't tell you a name for it yet. I don't think they've given it a name yet, but congratulations to Gary and his missus Claire for the birth of their baby girl, who was born yesterday. And excuse me, why is practice set tonight? Mike Matthews has just said on my personal stream. Again, it should be daytime. Apologies about that. It was set to daytime, so I don't know what is going off, Mike. But if it doesn't change for the race, we'll just change it around. I don't know what has happened here. The race set should be set. Everything was set right. So if qualifying's night, Mike, we will change it back to be correct and be up to date. But Nicky, Fuji, very tricky place to come, especially in these tricky conditions.
Yeah, it is a tricky track. You've got that long straight, and then you've got some really tight corners, especially the last three corners are pain. If you don't get them right, you can't get the exit right on that straight. You've lost out a lot of time, and that's where a lot of people I noticed last night were making a lot of gains and losses last night. So it's going to be interesting to see through there tonight.
It is indeed. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens through the evening. I'm just going to run through the championship standings at the moment. Before we do that, is there anybody on their 100th or 50th appearance tonight? No, D Biggs will be the next man to get to 100. He's on 94, but not quite there yet. And in terms of the 50 mark, Mazda is 1 away, Smoky Devil 3 away. But in terms of the pro drivers, nobody really close. The next one is Maze Gamer on 30, but he doesn't look like he's here at the minute. In terms of race wins, Unorthodox on 27 race wins to Jamie Brazier's 22. Fury's on 20 as well. That's starting to pile up there. Pole positions, Andy leads the way on 23 poles. and is approaching the first milestone of 25. But the championship standings look like this going into tonight's race. Excuse me. Excuse me. Fury leads away, 2 points clear of Unorthodox. Andy is in third place, 13 points behind, but he's not taken double points yet over his two rivals. Cannot shake this cough at the minute. BT Targa sits fourth, 49 points behind. He's some 8 points clear of D Biggs at this moment in fifth place. Gary down in sixth, 2 points behind him. Then it's Maze Gamer, a bit of a drop off to Maze, 11 points difference between him and Gary. 3 points behind Maze is Peaceful Explosion. Then it's Sooty Apex, who's a point behind him. Argent. Then he's 5 points behind Sooty. Emo Guy 2 off the back of him, with Disco 1 behind Emo Guy. Xmart is 1 behind Disco. Monkey Boy then 11 behind Xmart down in P14. Lidleach and Kelly tied at the bottom on 24 points apiece. And it's Shake and Bake Motorsport, the 2 times Constructors Champions, who lead the way here from Sandbags Motorsport, who are leading that way by 22 points. Slingshot Motorsport are 161. They're 36 behind. Team Prolapse are 73 behind. Forever Forward Racing are some 90 points behind. With Leach Motorsport yet to hit the 100 mark, 104 behind their rivals Shake and Bake. Excuse me, chat. With Simplay Racing then in 7th place and Audio Sport Prolapse bringing up the rear. Congrats, Little Each. You got to do it for 2 tonight. Evening to Emplava, evening to Smithy, evening to Argent, Mummy D, Fury's granddad, Fury's mum, PN Motorsport, Fury. Who else is in there? Peaceful Stepdad as well in the chat. So evening to everybody in there. And Nikki, tight championship at the minute. 13 points separating the top 2. Andy still to take double points, though, so it's all to play for still.
Has Fury gone for double points already?
Taken his at Hockenheim.
Right, yeah, I missed that one. Wow, yeah, that is very tight. So, Andy could be in for a winner. Who's this guy, Braddock, keep trying to join?
Not too sure.
Yeah, it's very tight up top. This is going to be an interesting race, I think. I've got a feeling we're going to see a different podium tonight.
Yeah, I think you could be right here. I think there's a lot. I think there could be, BT, Ike Smart, Biggs, Gary maybe, but don't rule out anybody else because the conditions are that bad that it's anybody's game here.
I don't know. I don't want to jinx people, but I've got a good feeling of these Porsches at the moment. I know Little Leach isn't racking up the time at the moment, but I just feel they're going to be more settled than all the other cars, to be honest.
Well, let's see as they come into the end of the practice session, or the midway point of the practice session, should I say. And hopefully it will be a midday quali session, as it's meant to be. If it's not, we'll have to redo the server and jump away quickly. But let's get a little poll going, shall we? What should we ask on the poll? Who's the tip for poll? Who for poll position? And then we can add 4 options here. So one of them's got to be Andy. We'll change it for Q2 depending on there. We've got to add Unorthodox, haven't we?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I think at the moment,
Fury?
the top 3, yeah, Fury, BT is in for a shout as well.
And
definitely.
then BT Targa. So there you go, chat. There's a little thing. There's a little poll going up that will be live till the end of qualifying. Who's your tip for pole position? Andy, BT, Fury, or Unorthodox? Get your votes in now for that one, and we'll end the poll just before the end of qualifying. In fact, we'll end the poll just before qualifying so that we can go into qualifying completely blind and oblivious to it. Evening to DJ Phil and Adam Kalp in the chat.
I want to say a big shout out to DJ Phil. He done absolutely amazing last night.
Yeah, he did. No, he was good last night. Evening to Welshie as well.
Yeah, Welshie.
Nope, he was good last night, was DJ Phil. He looked solid in his McLaren. Yep. And the poll already, a couple of votes coming in, 50-50 for Dan and Andy at this moment. Mazda in the chat saying, go on the sim play, lads. Has anyone took double points tonight? 2 drivers have taken double points tonight. Smithy will get to them in a little moment. And Welshie says night time. Yep, Welshie, I'm not sure what's happened. It was set for the correct time, but it has changed. And all of a sudden, Fury's got himself a couple of votes in there now, and Andy leading the way on 50% on the poll. So get your votes in on the poll for who you think is going to be on pole position. We're trying to just interact now with the audience a little bit more and get some more interaction from the chat. So get your opinions in. Like the stream as well as always. And we are now, I noticed just before we went live, 2 subscribers away from 200. So please hit that subscribe button for your racing content here at Simplay Motorsport. F1 back on Sunday night at Baku, Azerbaijan. Another street circuit to battle and challenge with before we head to the halfway mark next week at Texas Road Course. And then we're back next Saturday. Nicky, you involved in this one? 6 hours of Monza, World Endurance. We're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, love the LMP too. That is the whole thing where Team ProLab started. Was me and Ben in the LMP2s. That is where it all began. So it feels like home being back in the LMP2s. To be fair, and after the practice session last night, yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
You'd think by now this Braddock bloke would have learnt that he ain't getting in this session, but he still keeps trying to join. Because this is an online championship, he can't get in it. But yeah, no, looking forward to Monza. Monza's always been a tricky circuit, and with multi-class cars, that's going to be even harder.
That is what we was talking about last night. I mean, there was only, 5 of us ripping around last night in the LMP2s. Yeah, but there was no GTE cars on there, and it's a fast track, very, very fast track, especially in them LMP2s with so high downforce. We was commenting on we're going to be catching up with GTEs very quick, and we'll be lapping them a lot. That's the thing we're a bit concerned about.
It took about 9 laps, didn't it? It took about 9 laps, didn't it, at Silverstone, for you to get round and start to lap the GTEs, whereas Monza, like you say, much shorter lap and a lot faster circuit than Silverstone.
Yes, and it's coming through into the chicane, especially at the end of the first, at the end of the straight. That is going to be, if we catch up with a GTE there, that is going to slow us down a lot, and it's just going to be a bit etchy and sketchy through them bits, but once we're clear of them, once everyone starts spacing out, it's going to be a lot better. We should be able to clear through them. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
No, same here. I'm looking forward to that one as well. As I was going to say, Paulo BT Targa, who sits second at the minute, hasn't had a vote, but someone's just voted for him, and it's currently tied at the top of the poll between Andy and Dan. So make sure you hit who you think's going to get pole position. The poll will end at the end of practice. You've got 7 minutes to get that one in. And then we'll do another poll at the mid-session break for who's going to get pole in Q2. So make sure you stick around for that one. But even though I've set it tonight, the times aren't looking too dissimilar to what we saw in a practice session before we went live. So that's not too bad. At least they're running kind of similar pace. As Maze Gamer, I can see now, is in the session. So Maze Gamer is in. And this is an interesting one as we go forward. 25 people watching the stream, 17 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. If you are new, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified as well. Braddock's still trying to get in. Is it not meant to be daytime? It is Welsh. It was set for daytime and it's changed tonight. So if it is nighttime in quali, we're going to reset the qualifying up. Mazda saying GT are quick in a straight line, especially with low downforce. That's the thing is, they're not too far off the pace of an LMP2 car in a straight line. So
no, yeah, well, I was quite shocked with the pace that Mazda had in that Ford when we was coming out of the S's to the back straight. It was quite shocking how quick it was. So it was quite sketchy coming into the corners, but we managed to be able to go around the outside of the GTEs through a few corners.
Oh, sooty, yeah, exactly right. The problem with Monza is everything's sharp, isn't it? It's all a sharp chicane, the two Lesmos. The best corner is probably Parabolica, where it's a bit quicker. Sooty there had a mega twitch coming through that final corner.
I've noticed the snow's gone and it's just
it's rain now, so the snow cleared away. And it is just rain. Andy's taken the lead on the pole for pole position then. And that's interesting to see that Andy's got 50% of the votes compared to Dan's 31%, Fury's 12%, and BT Targa's 6%. And yet when you look at it, and if people are going off of, as we've seen in previous sessions, Andy's not always been the quickest in practice, but then comes to qualifying and absolutely smashes a time. He's capable. He's never out of it, is he?
No, that's the thing. Yeah, is it like sandbagging through the practice session, or I know a lot of drivers do that.
Yeah, I've said that I don't feel the BMW is great in wet conditions. So this is a test for Andy and Disco tonight. We saw the Pacer Dean last night. Looked good, second place, a 10th off of BT, off of Ben Parkey in qualifying. So we know the BM's got pace. What can it do in the wet, though, do we think? Is it going to be able to be up there with the front runners?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Andy, none of the BMs are out, are they? I think maybe they're going to catch out a bit of understeer. I don't know. I don't know. I'm waiting for Gary to get in, but yeah, I really wanted to see what these Porsches are going to be like. Little Rich doesn't seem to be hooking it up yet. No,
he doesn't. Gary should be in for qualifying, he said. If not the race. So we hope Gary can get there, obviously. Birth of his daughter, so priority there. But at this minute, Fury, BT, Andy, Dan, Disco, top 5 all in the pits. Then it's Emo Guy, Fury's teammate. And then the first of the Ferraris, kind of P7, only a 10th off the back of Emo Guy. The top 4 are kind of, Dan's half a second clear of Disco. Although he's 7 tenths behind Fury, the top 4 all seem to be within that own little pace of each other, and then it kind of drops off.
Yeah, especially like around... Oh, dear, peaceful.
Yeah,
I don't know. Not too sure about these Ferraris on this one. I think they might struggle a bit.
Tough one to get right round here is JR Sim Racing. Good evening to you, buddy. He says, let's go Andy and Emo and Disco. Love this track. Very technical last sector. And it is a track that's got... The first 2 sectors are quite quick. You've got that long right-hander that we see X-Mart on at the minute. And then the last sector is very tight, twisty, technical part of the track. There we go. We got Gary 131 in, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, the last section on this track is very tricky. Like I say, if you get it wrong, it's hard work because even this corner coming wrong, it's you get these next sections. If you don't get them right, you lose so much time. It's ridiculous how much time you actually lose.
He's not lost 7 minutes 45 seconds, folks. Don't worry. This is probably an outlet. But no, you're right. It's that tight and tricky. And in these wet conditions, the curbs can be lethal. Puddles forming on apexes. I know there's a puddle that forms just to the right of X-Mart there. So there's a lot of factors to take in the wet, never mind the dry. This last corner is very interesting because you see X-Mart there take a very tight line through the corner. A lot of people last night sometimes seem to swing it wide and in. Some people sort of middle of the track.
Yeah, I was taking a wider entrance into that corner. It just seemed better for me. But yeah, I did notice others were taking a tighter corner.
Look at the puddles forming in the pit lane. That could be a bit of one to watch tonight. WEC are here later in the year. Yes, we are here in the World Endurance. We come here towards the end of that season, so that should be an interesting one as D-Big's here. Oh, Argent!
Oh, that was close.
Big's practicing the pit lane, and there seems to be a puddle just on that red tarmac. And Big's trying to practice the pit lane. Argent nearly gave him a clout up the rear. And that was close from Argent. Was that Argent? No, who was that? Was that Mace?
That was Mace, yeah.
Okay, for some reason they're in the same liveries. Not sure why, but oh well. This has really sort of messed up tonight, hasn't it? It's turned it tonight and it's given Mace and Argent the wrong liveries. I
did think earlier that BT and Kelly was in the same livery, but I think they are. It's very similar.
Yes, they're both in the silver. Kelly says Vodafone. This is the problem. When you look at Kelly and BT, you look like they're a team. And then when you look at the teammates X-Mart and Sooty, now the game and the game does this. So Kelly and Sooty are in an actual on-game team livery. One's silver, one's orange. BT and X-Mart are an on-game team livery. One's silver, one's orange. But when you look at them on track, it looks like BT and Kelly are teammates. And it looks like X-Mart and Sooty Apex. So there we go, look. Sooty's very bare, very bland. And then X-Mart's got similar looking livery, but with a bigger sponsor down his side.
And X-Mart's in the pits, but But it was a bit confusing. I had a bit of a mishap with an orange McLaren last night, i.e. teammate.
We won't get into that one, will we? You've got 50 seconds left to vote for those who haven't voted yet on the poll of who you think will get pole position. Currently, Andy leading the way on 50% from Dan on 31, Fury on 12 and BT Target on 6. Double apex the last corner, says JR Sim Racing.
did I just lose? Oh no, Dan's just gone quickest.
Oh, he has, yes, just as well. Half a tenth quicker than BT Targa and 31 thousandths of a second quicker than Fury at the minute. If you don't get it right, you get mugged on the straight, says JR, and I found that out a lot last night. But then again, that could have just been the fact that I'm in an Acura. Dan also up on his time by half a tenth in Sector 1. So with 8 seconds left of this poll, we're going to end the poll at the end of this session. So you have got your last sort of minutes to get your voting now for who you think's going to get poll. But Dan's starting to just push his McLaren a little bit now.
Did he make a few? He was in the pits for quite a while, so he made a few tweaks here and now. But is that going to bite him when it comes to midday?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it will. I don't think Dan's a tweaker. I think I think he gets set, and then that's him happy for the rest of the session.
He gets up and does a few lunges, a few stretches.
Has a few stretches. You see he's up again through the middle sector. He's lost a little bit of time, but he's up still. And a lot of the drivers now coming into the pits. Gary not yet got a lap in, as everybody's saying congrats to Gary in the chat. I was going to buy, it's funny this, as Andy's poll rating has gone up a little bit more. It's funny this, because as a joke, when I found out Gary's partner Claire was pregnant, I said, I'm going to buy you a baby vest. I'm going to say, my dad's a Simplay Motorsport 2-time champ. And in brackets underneath, I was going to get it to say Unorthodox 16, because they both won 2 titles each. But I'm not that cruel to Gary, and I won't do it to him.
That's a prolapse thing, Matt. That is something
mate, honestly, the minute he says that she was pregnant, I was like, right, yes, I've got an idea. Let's go. As Dan then finishes that session, not finishing his lap, but he is quickest overall from Fury and BT Targa, but it is ever so close. Emo Guy putting himself up into 4th, and Andy led the way. Excuse me. Andy led the way on the pole with 53% from Dan's 29, Fury's 12, and BT Targa's 6%. But looking at M times, Andy's got some work to do if he is to get that pole position. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do going forward in this one. As we are in the daytime, we are at the correct time of the race, and we are ready now for this one. Andy, 52% of the vote, 26 people in the stream watching, 17 people voted, so thank you for your votes. We'll get another one going just before the race starts, I reckon, of who you think will win the race. In fact, no, we'll just stick with qualify for now, because there's 16 drivers, and would you look at that? It's a good job BT Targa only got 5%, because he's already got a grid penalty.
Oh, ouch.
And Sooty Apex has. So both of them with grid penalties, and Sooty did this last week, forgot to put the pit limiter on and got a grid penalty. So what a shame for them. That's going to hurt them in this one.
Yeah, we was a bit. Everyone was a bit worried about it last night, because we know on practice you don't have to have the pit limiter on, and I was kind of screaming it down the pit lane, because it's a long pit lane, but when you do that and then you come out on quali and you put the pit limiter on, it seems forever and a day to get to the end. And me and Laney, our pit crew was right at the entrance to the pit, so after we'd done our pit, it just felt
like it was forever. Yeah, I can imagine. Look at that. It only looks now like it started to get wet. Look, there is actually a dry line on the track that you can see. So never. Sooty Apex, a couple of seasons ago, in the Acura at Sugo, gambled softs. Early on in qualifying, it put him P2. Could we see Sooty take that gamble again tonight? He's back in the pits. Remember Sooty to put the limiter on and not get any more grid penalties. Is Sooty going to try this? Let's keep an eye on the times that come in. Gary, Mays, Sooty, KLF, still all in the pit lane.
Are they waiting for a window?
Possibly. I'd still be waiting. I'd be letting all these through before they go through. Mummy D in the chat. It's snowing. Yep. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Love the Christmas songs. Can't wait for Christmas to come back around again. But it's definitely snowing here at Fuji. It's definitely not volcanic ash that's erupted from Mount Fuji. It's definitely snow that is falling.
There's a lot of snow. I'm interested to see what Fury does.
Andy, that's a outlap. Sooty's just came out the pit, so now let's see if Sooty's going to keep this pressure on now. Sooty just in the way of Fury there, but is Sooty on the soft? I don't think it's wet enough yet. I think if someone's gambled the soft tyre, that could be pole.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing is Sutty is crazy enough to have gambled the softs. That's the silly thing.
Right, he's let Fury through there.
Yeah, he's on an outlap, isn't he, Sutty? So just come back out the pits. KLF out the pits now. Mays and Gary still in. One of them's on their way out.
Andy's quickest so far.
Oh, it looks like it's starting. No, it hasn't. Camera changes. Snow is falling down. Yeah, Andy quickest at the minute. Big congratulations to Gary131, says peaceful stepdad. Indeed so. 26 people watching, 19 likes. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe as well and hit the bell to be notified. Look who's in Andy's slipstream there. Is that Biggs? Or is that... no, it's definitely Dan then in Andy's slipstream.
Yes. Could this play right for Dan?
Could it mess him up into turn one, though? That's the biggest question. Coming through this at the minute, Disco set the best middle sector out of anybody. Obviously, we know...
I remember this track in last season where me and Kelly was in Renault.
Mm.
And I think we both decided to run lower downforce.
Yeah.
To keep up with the Mercedes. It worked, but we struggled in the dirty air.
Yeah.
Getting behind Welshie, and every time I got close enough to Welshie, it just smacked me out. So.
Yeah, I remember that as well. Andy there then, Master said earlier, we'll be in the 43s. The top four are in the 43s. 1 minute 43 dead. Now let's keep our eyes on Sutty. Now he's on an outlap. Now he's on a proper lap. Although that's Little Leach going up the inside. If Sutty is on them softs, it's not worked, and the experiment has failed, you would have to say, as Little Leach clips the bollard. Yeah, I think Sutty's on the softs here, and I don't think it's working. But we'll keep our eyes. We'll keep our eyes on his times. But 4 drivers in the 43s already. That is some seriously quick time.
That is quick in this weather.
Yeah, Sutty's round.
Yeah, Sutty must be struggling now.
Gary's out on track. That's nice to see.
Yep, this is the man I want to see.
Daddy Leach. What can he do?
What he can do in his Porsche.
I think this is an outlap, so we'll have to give him the chance to get round. Argent was actually quickest through the final sector and is a 44.4 and back in the pits. That's a good lap from Argent, who's having a good time of it. Peaceful down in the 44s as well. So not too bad at the minute. We keep our eyes on Gary now, though. Sutty's still going, I think. Mays and Kelly not yet set a time. Now, Mays can set a time, but I'm not sure why he hasn't.
Perhaps they're waiting for that window.
Possibly. Unorthodox was quickest through the first sector, so where's Dan on track? Disco's back in the pits. Master says 42s are in this.
Dan's coming down the line now.
Andy just in front of Dan. Is Andy going to improve his pole position time as he gets towards the line? It's a long, long run to the line. And yes, Ben Nicky is wearing his new shoes while commentating. Andy doesn't improve. Dan doesn't improve either. But yes, Ben, he says he's got them on.
I've got my shoes, Ben. I've got my shoes.
Gary, where's he? He's down in 13th, but on a proper flying lap now this time round. So let's see what Gary can do. Where is he? Coming towards, I think he's just coming up towards the middle sector. Yeah, he is. And you're interested. You keep saying you're interested about his car. Where's Little Leach at the minute? He's currently 7th, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
And Gary, 10 seconds up. Needs to be 11, so Gary could be right on the back of these boys here. If you can find a bit more time through this last sector, this is where we could see Gary. Just needs to find 1 point something seconds to get up to the front runners.
It seems a bit sketchy on the rear, but...
That's how Gary seems to like to drive the car. Yeah. He likes a slidey car. He likes to slide it through, and he likes Fuji. And here comes Gary131 then. Is there anything in this? Is it pole position for Gary? Where's it going to put him on the grid? He comes to the line now. Not yet, he doesn't. Now he does. And only goes 10th. Wow, okay. That is a bit of a shocker. I was expecting more from that. But I tell you what, when the grid is this tight, it's hard to, I suppose, get them positions, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a very... I think the conditions are a bit tricky as well. But yeah, I'm quite shocked with Gary there. But fair play, he's just come back from the hospital, so he's got to settle, got to get composure, he's got to get settled in, so...
Where's Sutty Apex? Because I feel like he's still trying the experiment. There's Kelly coming down the line. This is set a lap. X-Mart's just gone quickest. Purple Sector 1. Kelly goes out of his teammate. Maisie's out on track. Where's X-Mart? He's just come through Sector 1 and gone purple.
X-Mart is telling me he's in the pit.
Right, so he won't be improving on that time then. Sutty, though, is apparently personal best. I think Sutty's on the softs here for the main reason is he set a personal best Sector 1, and it was some 11 seconds slower than Argent's last Sector 1 time.
Right, so the softs, if he is on the soft, they're not working.
But his middle sector was quicker than the guys in front of him as well. So through Sector 1 it wasn't working. Through the middle sector it did work. So Gary back in the pits, as is Exmart. They're not going to get another lap in. They are done at. So Gary P12 best for him. Can anybody stop Andy? What is Sutty going to do? Can he find an improvement? Him and Kelly, some 16 seconds off the pace. BT Targa back in the pit. Sutty, though, don't forget, has a time penalty. Here comes Sutty. Was he mad enough to try the softs? I think he has. I think he's gambled it because it's not like Sutty to be 17 seconds off the pace here. Fury won't get pulled. He's in the pit. Sutty improves to P14, but only by 2.7 seconds. So can he get it done now? Maze Gamer, the only driver not to set a time. Sutty was purple, final sector. So if he has got the softs on, they might be coming to him. He's got one more chance at this.
Andy's still out on track. Fury's
done. Disco out on track. Dan out on track as well. Dan currently down in P4. Here comes Maze Gamer. Puts it. Didn't set a time. Okay, so that must have been an outlap then. But no time set.
Or he come off track.
Yeah, no time set for Maze Gamer. Here comes Disco with Disco Face. He'll get one more lap in. We'll have to find out who that is at the top of the circuit. That is Dan or Biggs at the very top. It's Biggs. So will Biggs just get across the line in time for another lap? 22 seconds he shouldn't he? I think it's the Ferrari of Peaceful behind him, or Monkey Boy. I think the track's getting too wet now, says Mazda. It is Peaceful behind him, I do believe. Biggs, no improvement. Peaceful Explosion, no improvement. Then it's Emo Guy down in 7th at the minute. Will he get across the line in the next 6 seconds? No, he's bailed. So Emo Guy is done. And we now need to figure out who that is just coming up towards the last corner. It's not Gary. It's not Argent. Is it Dan? I think Dan was... No, just in front of Dan.
It's not... Who is that
It's
then?
Kelly or Sutty? It's not Kelly, so is it Sutty? Yes, Graham. Sutty then. Mace Gamer fastest in Sector 1. Sutty on a personal best and personal best lap. Are we going to see Sutty improve any more here? He does improve, goes ahead of his teammate, but he'll have to give that time back. Dan looks like he's bailing to the pit lane. Then I think it was Argent, I want to say. Ooh. It's Argent and Maze Gamer. So Maze Gamer, then Argent, and Argent will be getting a lovely tow from his teammate here. Maze Gamer. Andy was quickest per Sector 2. And look at these two slipstreaming each other. Maze Gamer just in front, not yet set a time. What's Maze Gamer going to do as he crosses the line? Goes P13, does Maze. Argent stays P6. Where's Andy? Because he was on a purple middle sector. I think it's Kelly and Andy left to finish. It will be Kelly, then Andy. Kelly comes to the line. Does he improve on his time? He does, but no, not enough to get him off the back row of the grid. And Andy didn't get into the 1 minute 42s there then. But the biggest story here is his championship rival Dan starts down in P4 while he starts in a solid first place and another pole position for Andy that just shows how dominant he is in qualifying. Fury in second place. Excuse me. Fury in second place with Disco in third. Dan in fourth with BT Target in fifth place. Argent then in sixth. Good qualifying for him there in the Mercedes-Benz ahead of Emo Guy as well, who had a better practice session time than he did qualifying. But I suppose that's the way it goes at time. Then it comes the way of Lidleach, who 8th place for Lidleach just shows that is he maybe getting back to grips with that Porsche. Exmart in 9th with Gary then only got the 1 lap in, down in 10th. Peaceful Explosion will take an 11th place, I'm sure. Monkey Boy in 12th. Mace Gamer will get a 13th place then, ahead of D-Biggs, who got promoted to who is 14th. Sutty Apex would have been 15th, but will start 16th and dead last with his teammate in 15th KLF alongside each other. So the Audio Sport Pro Labs boys are together on the back row. And Nikki, for those guys who voted Andy in the chat for the vote of pole position, They was right yet again, and that is his 24th pole. One more pole position for Andy. He's got the milestone of a Swiss Tony's now been kicked from the session. So they're all trying to get in. They all want a piece of the action, but they can't get in. Oh, we've lost Sutty. We've lost Sutty.
Oh, no.
Oh, what a shame. He must have pressed something in between that session because we've lost Sutty from this first race. Now, that is a shame.
As he pushed return to lobby.
Yeah, I reckon so.
I've done that plenty of times in the past.
Yeah, I've done it myself before. I've done it myself. But we lose Sutty Apex then from this race. So even though he's qualifying last, he will not be on the grid for this first race. We wait for the drivers to ready up. The snow still falling here. And look at them two bright yellow BMWs. 1 and 3 with Fury, who again showing to everyone that he is class in this Mercedes-Benz. He's
got that Mercedes so set, and Fury's so quick. He's really come up, and I'm so impressed with Fury. He's going to be a future star for Simplay. I know it.
Who's your tip for this race win?
It's going to be a hard one. There's 3 drivers here that I'm going to say, but do you know what? I'm going to go Fury.
I'm going to go a bit of an outside shot here. I'm going to go BT Targa.
That could be a good one.
Going to go an outside shot. Smithy Littleach, 8th. Go on, lad. Good luck, everyone, says Peaceful Stepdad. Mazda, Adam Kaup even. The first corner going to be interesting. Good luck, everyone. Mazda's just put, has he dropped the pad? Oh, if he has. Mazda, if he's dropped the pad, Welshie will be absolutely loving that. So if that's true, absolutely brilliant. As we all look like we're ready up here, Nicky. We look like we're ready to go. Syncing up now. And this is where things are going to start to get interesting here. The lights come on, the revs rise. We go for round 9. Disco's got a good start. Andy not away well at all. And the 2 BMWs very squirrely off the line as they just start to tiptoe across it. And Andy then, is he going to be into the lead at turn 1? He's going to get mugged off by Fury. Disco possibly as well. Disco, though, great start from 3rd up to the lead in this race at turn 1. I think there was a spinner in the background. D. Biggs has dropped to 15th place. And here we go then. All the way relatively cleanly. Biggs is still on the back of these. Fury wide as he was trying to attack Andy. And does that give Dan the run on Fury? It does. And Fury nearly makes contact with Dan then. Coming into the long right-hander. Them two very, very close. But Andy and Disco got away the best.
Disco had a brilliant start there. He was on the ball with them lights changing to green. He was there. I don't think that caught Andy and Fury out big time, but well, what a shocker.
What a shocker. Good start. Dan going defensive early from Fury. They tap each other a little bit. Gary's trying to make up places. Here comes Dan. Has to get it stopped, and Fury with him as well before he plows into the back of Andy. Gary trying to progress through the field now. He's up to 7th from 10th. BT Targa looks like he's dropped off the back a little bit. Peaceful down to 14th, but Fury and Dan hassle in the back of Andy. Disco looks like he's gone a bit wide, and Fury really making Dan work for this one.
Yeah, he's not letting...
Oh, Disco! Disco's had a spin, he's round, and has Dan and Andy made a bit of contact door to door, nothing more than that. Fury and Imo guy looking at Dan, giving Andy a little nudge up the rear. Fury gives Dan a nudge up the rear now. And does that push Dan at wide enough? Can Fury get the run? They're all bumping and pushing and shoving. It's like watching Pro-Am.
Emo guys managed to get away through that.
Look at Mace Gamer and Gary on the back of this pack as well.
I told you, I had a feeling about this Porsche.
Dan defending from Emo Guy, defending from Fury, Gary attacking Maze, Andy defends the whole lot of them as they head to turn 1. Maze moving under the brakes. Dan gives Andy a big tap up the rear, forces him very wide. Emo Guy's through. Maze is having a look. Fury's having a look now. Dan slow through. Fury's round. Oh, it's all gone off. Furby in the wall. Dan slow.
Furby's dropped it.
Oh, it's all going off here. Gary having a look up the inside of Maze. He's having a sniff at the long right-hander. Can't get that Porsche underneath enough there. It's now Andy who leads from Emo Guy, who leads from Dan. And Maze squeezing Gary right out. Dan's dropped it! Dan on his own! He's round! Gary's on the podium! Oh, and he's having to sit and wait. And he moves out of everybody's way. And Kelly...
That is going to hurt him bad.
Massively.
Look at BT.
He's up to 4th.
He's stayed out of trouble, but this is Gary, come on, Gary.
Game on for Gary now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Game on indeed. The new dad. Game on. Dan dropped it all on his own. But I tell you what, they've been bumping and pushing and shoving like nobody's business out there on this opening couple of laps.
Gary's got a clear emo. If he can clear emo, he can chase after Andy. I've got faith in his Porsche. But emo guys seem to have a bit of luck there and just get away with all of that.
Yeah, just seemed to get through the pack nice and cleanly, as did Gary, as did BT Targa. Although I say that, Gary had a bit of a kerfuffle trying to pass Mays. BT dropped back at the start and then ended up P4. Little Leach is up to 6th. Disco, after his early spins, down in 7th. Dan's now back up to 10th. Fury's 9th. So them two coming through the pack together. Fury's now 8th. Here goes Gary round the outside of Emo Guy. Can he get it done on the brakes? Look at them cars all side by side in the background. But the snow playing havoc here at Fuji. Gary late on the brakes. Can he tuck it underneath? Might want to not get back underneath because it's the inside line if he stays wide for turn 2. Can't get it done. Emo Guy defending very well, and Gary 131 here sits on the back of this Merc. And is he going to look around the outside at turn 2? No, again, just sits and patiently waits for these guys to go. Lap 3, so the pit window is open at the end of this lap, or is it? No, it's lap 4, apologies. The pit window opens at the end of lap 4.
I really think that if Gary can clear emo, he can catch up now.
Well, he's looking underneath. He's looking underneath. I think there was a bit of contact there, but they managed to both keep going. And I tell you what, Gary 131 here, round the outside of Emo Guy, and it's job done. A flash from Emo Guy there, but Gary's got up into second place. Defence from Emo Guy in towards the bottom hairpin at the track, and into this twisty sector we go. Gary on a mission.
Oh, Gary's living up to one word. That Porsche is definitely planted for this.
Well, look at Little Leach as well, Nick. He's up to 6th, so he's on the back of this pack as well. Look, so he's having a good fight here, a good round here.
Yeah, I just had visions because all the weight's at the back on his cars, so he's going to get more grip, more pace out of them corners. Everyone else seems to be struggling. Mercedes.
Oh, here goes Little Leach. Look at that. A move up the inside so much later on the brakes than Mays Gamer. Mays tucks back underneath, but Little Leach will have his slipstream to try and get back past him here. He tucks into it now. And I tell you what, I thought Mays had made a mistake or something because Little Leach was flying up the inside of him. Is that Mays?
Mays has just gone into the pit.
No, he stayed out. No. He stays out. It did. BT Targa's gone in. That's a lap. Is that a lap early? I can't remember what I put in the Discord now.
Lap 4.
I did put lap 4, didn't I? Yes. So yeah. BT, that's a lap early for BT Targa. It's a great stop, but it's a lap early.
That is quite shocking. I'm quite shocked that he took that pit that early. Team tactics? I don't know.
Team, yeah. Well, the jump, he's going to have to pit again. That's the problem. Otherwise, the penalty's a drive-through penalty added to your time at the end of the race. So he's got to pit at the end of lap 4 between that and 13. So BT, has he just messed up there? He's got to pit again here.
May well have done. What is X-Mart doing? Because
down in 9th, he's ahead of Disco. Disco's had another mistake. He's on the back of Argent. Not making much inroads. He's lapping similar to the cars in front. In fact, he's 7 seconds slower than Argent on the last lap. So maybe a mistake for X-Mart last time around. But Dan's cleared these two as well. Dan's now a couple of seconds off the back of Fury. Here is Fury.
Yeah, Fury's perhaps he's not liking these conditions.
Oh, Little Leach. Look at him. He's just in front. He's still on the back. A Mays Gamer here, and he's looking up the inside. And Mays. Are the Mercs struggling a little bit? Is it going to get wetter, do we think? Because Little Leach again, look. Oh, Mays Gamer just manages to get the door closed there. Runs over the curb. That's a bit too far wide. Mays is going to have to be careful when he rejoins. Little Leach has to go wider. Mays tries to squeeze Little Leach. They bump doors again. And I tell you what, Mays is squeezing Little Leach here. I don't know what Mays Gamer's doing here because he's leaning on Little Leach. This is very naughty, and they let go of each other now. And that was bizarre.
That was sometimes it feels like the cars are magnets sometimes,
yeah.
But yeah, that was a bit naughty there from Mays. He was trying to push.
Oh, and he's trying to push back on the exit there as he doesn't get that one done successfully. Gary nearly a second quicker than Andy on the last time around, so that gap coming down out front, and Gary absolutely doing bits at the minute. Pad no good, no choice but to retire, says Disco. That's his second retirement of the season, unfortunately for him. And as the rules state,
season like me.
Yeah, as the rules state, 3 retirements, and that's 25 points docked from your championship. And what a shame for Disco.
Where is Dan?
Down in 7th, couple of seconds off the back of Fury, but well in front of Argent. So going well at the minute. 29 people currently watching the stream, 19 likes. Guys, girls, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new to it as well. Hit the bell to be notified, of course, as Gary's just opened that gap up. Andy's just opened that gap back up to Gary here. But here's Kelly sitting in 12th and once again outscoring a couple of drivers. BT Targa with that early stop, but has to pit again. So not sure what the thought was, because he did it last week as well, didn't he? Remember at Bruno, he pitted early.
I think last time he had damage though.
Yeah,
didn't he? It didn't look like he had any damage on him this time. So I don't get why he pitted.
No, it was a strange one.
Yeah, but he's on the back of Kelly already, so
yeah,
he seems to be struggling in that car.
Who, BT or Kelly?
BT.
Yeah, I'd say he's getting better. But his points show that he's starting to progress each race. But yeah, he got the race win in his 51st race last week. So we'll have to see what he does. Gary, a lot slower than Andy last time around. In fact, he was just a bit slower than Emo Guy. There is Peaceful, first man in the pits at the end of lap 5.
But this battle's still going on with Little Leach and Maze. Oh, Maze, a little tap up the back there.
Yeah, Mazda in the chat saying that was naughty from Maze, and indeed it was. Argent follows Peaceful into the pits, and here comes Maze. Lilich gives him room. So Argent in the pits as well. And Maze gets back through ahead of Lilich. Fury's catching these two. And it looks like the snow stopped there. No, camera changes. A bit of rain in that snow now, so it's sleet here then. And it's you can just see the track getting wetter and wetter. And surely this is, look at Little Leach. He's gone round the outside and up the inside at the chicane of Maze Gamer and gets that job back done. And back into 4th goes Little Leach. And what a job from Little Leach there. Back into in front of Maze Gamer. And Maze then has got to be careful because he's got Fury starting to attack the back of him. Little Leach here will want to pull away.
He needs to get away from Maze because Maze seems to be a little bit sketchy through some of them corners.
Whereas Fury now, what will he do on the back of Maze Gamer? Dan not too far back still, 2.8 seconds. But Maze from Fury. Dan not yet in the background. Little Leach just in front. Emo Guy's got back ahead of Gary. That's why Gary's in the pit lane.
Is Gary trying to do the undercut on Andy?
Possibly. That's a orange McLaren in the background, so that must be X-Mart. He comes into the pits as well. And he comes nice on time. BT Targa then down the straight. He's not going to pit this lap. He's got to pit again.
Kelly seems to be struggling with this McLaren.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think he's enjoying it. It's a bit like me. I'm not enjoying it that much, to be honest.
I feel for him as well, because I think if he'd have gone in the Porsche, he might have been a bit more competitive. Fury has got himself past Maze Gamer. In fact, that is chopping and changing. So them two having a bit of a battle. Maze has come back out on top here. And Fury going to have a look underneath now. Is he going to try and attack Maze in towards the bottom hairpin? Disco Face is disconnected, so we've lost him. Hopefully we can get him back in for race 2. Monkey Boy now in the pits.
I was going to say it looked like snow had gone, but we've still got snow.
Yeah, just the odd flake or two here, isn't it? It's more sleet now than snow, and making that track a bit greasier, if you ask me. The wetter conditions coming in. More puddles starting to form, Nicky.
Yep.
And Maze.
Like, definitely through that last section, there's a lot of...
Oh, Maze! Is he round? He's held on to it. They tap each other a little bit there. They both have to bounce off each other. And Maze still manages to stay in front. How he managed to hold on to that, I don't know. But all this is allowing Little Leach to go. Fury gets a great run, did he? Maybe a bit too much wheel spin out the last corner and couldn't get up the inside. But he's now going to look to get in that slipstream of Maze Gamer and pull out. When does he choose to pull out? He's got to leave it as late as possible to try and defend, to try and be able to cover Maze's defence off. Emo in the pits. So let's see. Fury goes for it now. Let's keep our eyes on Gary, because Emo Guy and Gary was close to each other on track. As Fury up the inside of Maze Gamer. Maze can do nothing about that. And Fury gets P3 provisionally at the moment, but he's still got to pit yet. As D-Biggs comes into the pits. Emo Guy's on his way out. Here comes Gary Leach. I think Gary's going to have this one. Emo Guy's just come into the pit exit line.
It's a long pit, so yeah, Gary should be able to get past him.
This is going to be close, you know.
It's going to be tight. Emo's out. Look,
oh, yeah, he's done him. He's just got in front of Gary 131 there then. And Gary goes a little deep himself, who's ahead of BT Targa. BT still got to pit here. And Gary there then is jumped by Emo Guy in the pit. So Gary not able to jump Emo Guy. Still, though, a net third place, you'd say. With Little Leach and Fury, Maze Dan still all to pit. BT Targa still to pit. KLF still to pit. As is Fury, Andy, Little Leach and Dan. And this man's kind of been in cruise control again, hasn't he?
I bet he's loving this. Last race he seemed to be out on his own again. It's just happening again for him. I think it's just... Yeah, and could it be another pole win?
Yeah, he said he wants to convert more poles into wins, and he's doing just that right now because he's absolutely flying in a world of his own. 12 seconds ahead of Little Each, and his closest rivals was Emo Guy and Gary as they came out the pits. Now, what's that in the background? Is that Little Each and Fury? In the background it is, and Fury's ahead, and that might be why, because I think Little Each is coming to the pit lane. Yes, he is,
yes,
look.
Yes.
So at the end of lap 8, Little Each now comes in.
Look at Dan.
Gaining on Maze Gamer, gaining a lot here. Now, Little Each has stopped. Emo Guy and Gary and BT Targa, they're all close to each other. Just coming out the final corner. So where are they on the start straight? Look at this then for a battle. Little Each on his way out the pits. These should get Little Each done. He's not as close to the pit exit.
Can Gary get past Emo? Emo's gone for the defend.
He's gone defensive. They're going to have to jink. There comes Little Each coming out the pit lane. So these three have all got past him. BT Targa, don't forget, still got to pit again. Gary looking for his trademark undercut, is he? There it goes. And is that a thank you, mama, for the carrots? Not yet, because they're still side by side and bashing doors. Kelly into the pits at the end of lap 8.
I think Gary's job done on this one.
15 drivers started this race, so the top 7 cannot qualify for race 2. Gary all over the curbs, get a bit of a wiggle on there, but manages to not put it into the side of Emo Guy. Great car control, and Emo Guy, just with that instability of Gary's car there, drifts around the outside and gets that done. BT getting involved in this battle, but I hope he realises he's still got to pit, because he didn't pit with inside the pit window.
Yeah, hopefully he's got the message through. I know that the guys do watch the stream, so he may be holding on a little bit later.
They've got till the end of lap 13 to do so all good at the minute. So we're all just waiting on BT Targa, Fury, Andy, Maze and Dan to pit here. And Andy's gone through. And Fury, in fact, Dan's got past Maze Gamer. Maze Gamer's had a problem somewhere because he's dropped back quite a bit of time here. And is he going to pit now? He must have had a mistake. It's full-blown rain now. Look at that. The rain is really coming down. And Maze... Oh, keeping out the wall, just within the track limits. Fury in.
As well.
And a lap 9. Maze in as well. Fury away. Great stop, Fury. Dan now can hunt down his rival, Andy. But 10 seconds in these conditions, it feels like 20 or 30 seconds, doesn't it?
This is going to be a hard one for Dan. But he's actually flying, so... What would you do in Dan's position? Would you go for a pit now and try and make it up for the last? Still
a long way to go. BT Targa, Gary and Emo Guy have got past Fury and Maze. So that's job done. In fact, that's Little Each coming past Maze Gamer, but didn't get past Fury. So Fury jumps Little Each in the pits then.
This battle's still going on.
Gary's got ahead of Emo Guy now. So Gary now back in front, back up into third, net second place, you'd say.
I'll tell you what, I think Gary... I'd love to see Gary on the podium.
Yeah. Getting stronger is Gary every week. Back in his famous Porsche. Of course, where he won the Season 1 and Season 2. And he loves these kind of conditions. Absolutely loves chucking the car in and sliding it through.
Yeah, Gary and Maze seem to like a loose rear. Maze seems to be able to handle that pretty well. Dan's pretty cool with a loose rear.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's not enjoying the McLaren as much, because it seems to not be as loose as what he wants it to be.
No, it's too understeery.
Yeah.
So much understeer on it.
Andy then comes into the pits at the end of lap 10, and that will mean
Dan is in front.
Dan will take this race lead, but will have to still pit.
Andy's released from the pit. Oh.
Yeah, where is Andy? He's coming down. I think he's got that one covered.
Yeah, there's two of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of people trying to get into this session and getting kicked. Come on. It's an online championship. Andy off the limiter now. These guys are going to be up to full racing speed. And I tell you what here, Gary's close. Gary's very close. Can he get him on the undercut? Is he going to go around the outside? They're having a look. Gary breaks a bit more. Andy squirrely on the exit in that BMW. And Gary here, Braddock still trying. Look, he's been trying since the practice session started. Gary here on the back. This could be for the race lead. In fact, has he gone around the outside of Andy? They're side by side. They're making it difficult. Gary's through.
Oh, what a move.
Gary is through and is in the net lead of this race here at Fuji. In the rain, in the sleet, the rain, the snow, whatever it's doing, Gary leads here.
Oh, I don't want to jinx you. Where's Dan?
Dan, 24 seconds up the road. It's going to be about 30 to 35 seconds, I'd say, for a pit in and out for a pit stop. Dan is going to be around Little Leach. Fury's dropped back behind Little Leach and Mays again, so not sure what happened there. BT's still got to pit.
Is Dan going to pit?
He's got to, surely. He can't. There's no point going to lap 13. He's surely got to get in now. I don't think he's going to, though. He looks like he's going to carry on his way. Smithy with a come on, Gary, in the chat.
This is brilliant.
He's pulled a gap as well, hasn't he, look?
Oh, my God. I don't want to jinx it. Come on, Gary.
Little wiggle on the curb, curb. Has that invited Andy back up the inside? They get close. Gary gives him plenty of racing room, and now back on the power. Can that Porsche get past Andy? Will the BMW have the traction in a straight line and plough? A brilliant move. Smithy says king of the wet in the chat. A little wobble from Gary there, but he's side by side now with Andy. They come down the start-finish line to start their 12th lap of this race of 18, and Gary looks like that Porsche just has enough to slide back in front, but will Andy go for the attacking manoeuvre into turn one, or is he going to sit behind Gary? He sits. Gary gives him room, plenty of room there for Andy, and Andy has to do nothing but twitch and tuck back in behind. This is great racing. This is great.
Is brilliant.
Gary 131. Yeah, emo guy. It's a shame BT didn't pit at the end of lap 4 because he's right in this.
Yes, yeah, that is a shame. I think he's lost out to this big time. I'm quite interested in why is Dan going to pit this time.
Well, he's got to pit this lap or the end of next lap. So,
I don't think he's going to do it. If he pits, he's lost a lot of time.
I think he's going to come out maybe just ahead a little each for 6th, but that's about it. That's all he can get. I don't think he's going to get these 4.
No. Oh, Andy on the curb then.
Really riding the curbs. BT Targa on the back of Emo Guy, but don't forget he's still got to pit. Little Each, I'll tell you what, he's only 5 seconds off of this battle here. So let's not count him out in the push. Having a great showing tonight is Little Each. Looks like he's getting back to grips. That behind is Maze and Fury. They're having a little ding-dong for P8 and 7. As Dan then does come in. And at the end of lap 12, on Orthodubs into the pits. And Fury very, very sideways there. Into this middle sector. What can Dan get done, though, in this pit lane? As he's away now, I don't think he's going to get anywhere apart from maybe around Little Each. Dan's dot is moving on track, but here comes Gary and everybody. Let's just pan back to Gary if we can. Here we are. So Gary, Andy, Amo Guy, BT Target, Dan off the limiter now. He's lost 2 places. He will lose another 2, but has come out just ahead of Little Each, around about where I said he would. But Gary then leads this race. BT Target has to pit at the end of this lap, or will be mandatory given a drive-through penalty for failing to pit in the pit window. And that'll be a shame because he's running a good 4th place here.
Yeah, Gary seems to be settled in now, and he's pulling away, but Andy's still there. Is Andy waiting for him to make another mistake?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? This is the biggest question now. Fury still on the back of Mays. X-Martin Biggs kind of in no man's land for 9th and 10th. Peaceful as well. He's just ahead of Argent. Kelly's well in front of Monkey Boy and just behind Argent by 9 seconds. He can get another place. Here is Biggs, though. Kind of on his own. 2 seconds behind X-Mart. 20 ahead of Peaceful and just kind of lapping similar to what the guys are doing in front and not being able to do anything more than that.
These Ferraris seem to have struggled tonight.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. And it's a shame as well.
Yeah, the trouble is with Ferraris, they lack a lot of acceleration and perhaps they're not getting down the grip, but yeah, that's a shame of the Ferraris.
Yeah, massive shame. Massive shame. Dan, though, on the back of BT and Emo, guys, so he's bringing himself, according to the time screens, right into this. Look, there he is. Yes. BT has to pit here or will face penalty. Or face Stewart's inquiry, should I say, and I don't think he's going to go in. That seems a slam dunk for BT there. He pitted before the window opened.
He might be thinking he pitted actually on lap 4, so it was a bit of a touch and go on that one.
Shame as well, because he's right in this fight for a podium here. And Dan, you know, he's gaining points over Fury because Fury's down in 8th, not having the best of nights, but he's losing points to Andy.
Emac guy seems to be running some good races lately.
Yeah.
He seems to be up there with them, and the BT is all over the back of him.
He is. Andy's within a 10th of Gary as well up front, so Andy trying to close that gap.
Did Gary make him?
Has he had a bit of a twitch, a bit of a wiggle somewhere maybe? But these boys here are flying. The 2 leaders, 4 seconds ahead of the other 3. And then Little each some 5 seconds off the back of Dan Emo and BT Target. And I'll tell you what, you'd hate for contact between Emo, BT and Dan, wouldn't you? Because that brings this man right into a podium spot.
But one thing I've got to say is, look at that rain.
Yeah, the rain is absolutely tipping it down. And all these lads here are really starting to struggle in these conditions. Puddles forming. You just cannot get the same traction out the corner. BT's doing everything he needs to get past Emo Guy. Dan's trying to get past BT. And that shows the difference in lines there. Even in the wet, the different lines are taking through that final corner. Gary's pulled a bit more of a gap out from Andy.
Right, coming off of BT.
Yeah.
It's like disappeared.
And then
going for the pit stop there.
Yeah, I can't really see him. And then I mean, Emo Guy's nowhere to be seen. Dan's got out of that. Dan's having nothing to do with that. Both BT and Emo Guy hard, heavy on the brakes. Dan trying to tuck underneath both of them. A bit of a twitch. He tried it. He went for the undercut there, and he just got a bit of a wiggle mid-corner, and it's a good job he saved that, because if he'd have gone round, Little Each could have been interested in overtaking Dan.
Could have picked him up on that one, yeah. Fury makes him still be battling away.
Yeah.
Looked like Fury had a bit of an issue then.
Looked like he was on the grass a little bit at turn 1, didn't he? So,
yeah.
Not sure what's happened there. X-Mart's gaining on them 2 in the background. Gary and Andy, they're within a 10th of each other, so what's going off there? Oh, look at this. Gary and Andy then really trying to string this one out. Andy's having a look up the inside. Gary goes to defend. Andy wiggles under the braking. And Gary with a late defensive manoeuvre. And Andy a wiggle under brake. I think so. I think Andy's done very well. Look at them 3 in the background. That's BT past Emo Guy. Dan couldn't get that one done either. No matter where we're looking, there's fights going off. Emo Guy trying to have a look back up the inside of BT Target. Nothing can be done about that. Dan right in this fight as well. And what a shame that BT didn't pit early, because the stewards will want to look at that.
Yeah, that's a hard one to call. I'm thinking he may have got it wrong and pitted on the lap 4.
Yeah, on the start of lap 4.
Yeah.
The thing that went out says pit window opens end of lap 4 and closes end of lap 13. So, yeah. That's a shame.
I think that's what's happened there with him. With that. But Emo Guy, fighting back here.
Yeah, coming back side by side. Dan, once again, wants no part of the slipstream as Emo Guy comes back in front and decides he's going to defend the inside line of the corner. Now can Dan chop back and get the undercut, or are these two a bit deeper into the corner? Dan thinks about chopping back on BT Targa, has done so. Little Leach is slowly gaining on these. He's 2 seconds behind Dan now, so he's slowly coming. Lap 16. I went 3 abreast here with Ben Plover and Ben Parkey last night. Dan's not brave enough in the wet to do the same thing. But he is still brave enough to be this close in a fight that is going on for ages.
Yeah, I didn't really see what was going on up front last night because I was sort of like mid-pack, but...
No, this was after you'd retired.
Oh, right. But, well, I heard it in the chat anyway with Ben, and he was pretty excited what was going on.
Yeah,
so.
that was some exciting stuff. Argent's got himself had a Peaceful explosion, and Peaceful's now 8 seconds behind Argent, so Peaceful not having the greatest night, and Simplay Racing in the Ferrari struggling a little bit here. There's Kelly in 13th, 12 seconds off for Peaceful. I'll tell you what, if Peaceful makes a mistake, Braddock's still trying to join, bless him. Braddock, mate, Simplay Motorsport. Head there to YouTube, subscribe and like, and maybe we can get you in for the season. There's some seats available in Pro-Am. But this one's full. As Monkey Boy then, last, not seeing much of him tonight, struggling. Again, look, he's trying. He's trying, bless him.
The Ferrari, Braddock is really keen. That Ferrari just doesn't seem to be working tonight at all, does it?
Dan's got him. Yeah, they don't. Dan's got himself ahead of BT Targa, and Gary and Andy are coming up to lap Monkey Boy. But you're right, both Ferraris have just struggled. They've just struggled tonight. Dan ahead of BT.
Little Leach is just staying behind them all nice and calmly. Yeah,
with it just under that 2 second mark there to BT Targa, so just getting himself back in a nice window. And Dan having a look up the inside of Maze Gamer, it looked like there. Of Emo Guy there, it looked. And is Emo Guy going to chop back? He is. Ooh. He's going to come back at him and have a look. But Dan's got the better run out the first corner. And I thought Dan had a bit of a slide, but it's just the way the camera was going around that little bend. And Dan in towards turn 2 now. Up onto the podium here. But this battle, you feel, is not over at all.
I think now Dan's got through, I think he's going to pull away.
Got to keep it nice and tidy, hasn't he, in the wet, though? Look at the rain. Yeah. Look at the rain coming down here. It is tipping it down. Andy and Gary have both lapped Monkey Boy then, so that is job done for them. And in this wet conditions, Gary is now just keeping Andy at bay, and they're coming round this part for the penultimate time. And it's going to be nice to see this man back on the top step if he can get there.
I don't want to. I'm not saying nothing because I do not want to do the commentator's curse.
Dan, though, ahead of Emo Guy. That battle in the background still resumes. No, it doesn't. Emo Guy's round. And Little Leach now up to 5th. And Emo Guy right round. Where is Maze? They're coming. Oh, what a shame.
They're not close enough.
No, what a shame. But Emo beat Little Leach within a second, 1.1, I think he was, of BT Targa. So can he maybe on this last lap have a charge here? Going to be an interesting one for Little Leach. Dan trying to break the slipstream.
Emo Guy Spinner's freed BT now, so BT's pace is going to be
immense.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stewards will be investigating his early pit stop. Fury's got past Maze. Maze has dropped it. He's dropped down behind Xmart. So that's a shame for Maze Gamer. But at the minute, these two battling for third place still. And Little Leach not far off the back of BT. Little Leach could be keen here to maybe get a 4th place. They've just all got to stay nice, comfortable and compact. Out front, the gap is 0.2 of a second as they're coming into the final part of this track. There's Maze.
I bet Xmart's loving that. He's made a position for nothing.
Yeah. Fury top 7, don't forget, cannot qualify in this race. Coming towards the final sector, the leaders. It's under a 10th. What's happening out front? Look at this. Side by side, door to door. Gary gives Andy just enough room. He squeezes him to the grass. Andy gives Gary enough room back. And on the last lap of this race, it's coming down to the wire. And is Gary just going to have enough in the tank? That is Kelly staying right out of this battle. And Gary and Andy again. A little tap. A little ding-dong. And Andy really pressuring the 2-time pro champ. Here comes Gary, though. They all avoid the puddle. Gary a twitch! manages to keep it into the final corner. Andy's gone a little deep. You get the feeling he's on the curb. Oh, he's round. He's in the wall. And it's going to be a win for the newly dad. And Gary 131 at the last minute is going to take this race win. And for his baby girl, what a job from Gary 131. But the question is where's Dan to Andy? Because Andy could have a poor run and bad damage. Here comes Dan. Here comes Andy. Is Andy going to get second? No. Dan at the last minute is going to take second place. Andy is going to cross the line for third. Oh, what a dramatic end. Gary's had a spin. That may be, he wasn't caught on stream, so that may be under investigation for spinning across the line. BT Talk is going to come across for P4. He'll be under investigation, no doubt, as well, for pitting before the pit window. Emo Guy, what a shame at the end. P5 for him. Fury comes, Little Leech, sorry, comes across for a P5. So great points for the Leech Motorsport boys. Emo Guy 6th in the end. Fury going to come out to take a P7. D Biggs, in fact, Macy's still in front. X-Mark comes across for a P9. So well done to him. X-Mark gets a P8. D Biggs a P10. That was absolutely insane at the end there. Arjun, he's going to come across for an 11th place. Kelly's finished a lap down in 13th. Monkey Boy a lap down in 14th. We lost Disco. We didn't have Sooty start this race. Peaceful P12. Work to do in the second race maybe, but what a start to this night, Nicky.
That was unbelievable. I mean, look at the state of the car, but oh my God. I said the Porsche was a bit planted, didn't I? I did say the Porsche was going to go for it, but Gary, what a race. That is
fastest lap.
Do you know what? I don't care. I know it's in the first race, but driver of the night already. It's got to be Gary.
He's looking favourite, isn't he? 45.52 for Gary. Quicker than the others at the minute. Yeah, it looks like Gary's going to take the extra point as well. So Gary 131 then will take the extra point for fastest lap. Nicky, do you want to get Gary, Andy and Dan in for a quick chat? We'll be right back in about 5 or 10 minutes time with a quick interview, and then we'll be underway with the second race of the evening. Top 7, don't forget, cannot qualify. Back in a minute.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. down the days, counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
As we approach the halfway mark next week, it's going to be a fascinating one to see who will be where at the halfway stage of the season. But for right now, we've got the top three in the commentary box for interviews. And I'm just going to quickly run through the championships, both drivers and constructors at the minute. Dan leads the way, 9 points ahead of Fury. Not the round Fury would have wanted. And Dan just being able to nab a second place at the end. Andy third, some 15 points off the back. But I tell you what, double points to use. He's still right in this game. Gary moves himself up to fourth, 25 points off the back. He is one of two drivers on double points tonight. What a night to take his double points and get his first race win. BT Targa in fifth place, obviously under that investigation for an early pit stop, but he's 54 points off the title lead. Biggs is sixth with Emo Guy in seventh. He's also the driver on double points tonight, so a lot to play for Emo Guy as well. Maze Gamer is in eighth, a couple of points behind him, with Peaceful dropping to ninth. Sutty 10th after missing that race. Argent down in 11th, tied now with Sutty, with Xmart a point behind the pair of them in 12th. Disco down in 13th. Monkey Boy 14th. Little Leach, Smithy said in a text message, nice to see him turn up to get a great solid result at the end. KLF down in 16th and at the back of the pack, and he's still going, is Kelly, but he's got a lot of work to do. But we'll start though with Andy, and Andy, what looked to possibly be a race win turned into a third.
I just bottled it at the end. Last lap, not the first time, did the same thing at Watkins Glen in the second race. I was just pushing too hard, once again getting greedy. I don't know if I'll ever learn, I don't think I will. There's a bit of a disclaimer there, I probably won't, but yeah, I tried and it failed, so yeah.
Yeah, you had the pace out there in the race, you had the pace in qualifying yet again. It's another qualifying that's gone from pole to no conversion into the race win, but the pace is there in that BMW and it's showing that it can drive in the wet.
Yeah, it's just good in the wet. The BMW is fine. I know it's got a bit of a reputation, but from what I can see, it's quite an easy car to drive in the wet. I've driven the Lambo, I've driven the Ferrari. Both of those cars are a nightmare in the wet, but this car, I love it. So, I don't know, maybe it's just a different stage in my sim racing career, possibly. But yeah, definitely find it quite a breeze to drive in the wet.
Obviously, the pace there in qualifying, are you a bit disappointed that you couldn't convert that pole into the win?
Yeah, of course. I think early in the race, I pretty much thought that it was going to be mine. Had a 10-second lead, and then little did I know that I'd been racking up a 4% engine damage over the course of the race. Nobody had told me, nobody had warned me. It just was there. So unfortunately, it came into the pits and got held in a little bit longer due to that 4% engine damage, which was a bit of a drag, but came out and still was in the fight. So I can't blame it on that. I still had the opportunity and I still threw it away.
15 points behind Dan, double points to take. What can you do race 2 to close that gap?
Just try and make my way back through as quickly as possible. Tricky conditions, so there's going to be plenty of thrills and spills, and I just need to make sure I don't get caught up in any of them. Well,
best of luck, buddy. We'll let you get back to it.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, buddy. And speaking of luck, this guy couldn't have more luck than Gary 131 in seasons gone by. But Dan, a second place really out of nothing because it was a terrible opening couple of laps.
Yeah, the first couple of laps wasn't really to what I wanted. I've seen the BMWs get an amazing launch and seen the rest of the guys all just swamp around me. McLaren, typical slow start. I was not in a happy place, and wanting to clear the traffic as quickly as possible, stick with Andy, but I just made a mistake, went down the inside of Emo guy, stayed where I was, managed to avoid incidents and get back going. So it felt like Bruno all over again, but nonetheless, I went long, tyres were decent, I was starting to lap quicker than the rest of the guys, and next thing you know, I come out 6th. So, yeah, good. I can't complain. Good recovery drive to second. Great recovery drive for second. How's the McLaren in the wet? Because it looked a bit of a handful at times. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a handful at times, but I think it was just me pushing too hard. I kind of got out of a comfort zone where I was trying to catch cars in front, and in practice it was just so much smoother. And I think I just was trying too hard, trying to catch cars. So once I got into clear air, I went back to the style that I was driving. That was giving me time. But it's all right, the McLaren. I feel like in the wet, it's more easier to control. But if I'm honest, I am missing the Porsche, especially in these conditions, because I can literally throw it about. But I'm making it work. It's a challenge. 9-point lead now at the top of the standings after Fury had a bit of a shocker. What's the plan race 2, bud? Well, I know Fury will come back stronger at Texas. I know that for sure. And Andy as well. I think Andy's having a season that I had last season in the Porsche, where it was just constantly in the top 3 all the time. So it's going to be hard to beat Andy while he's on the roll. But race 2, I pretty much was in the pack, so possibly go long, maybe shorter, who knows. But we'll see where we end up after lap 1. Well done, mate. Best luck. Good luck for race 2. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Gary, on the win and the new baby girl. And we got Gary in the chat now as well, and as Dan said, congrats to him and his partner Claire for the birth of their baby girl. And what a way to do it with a win, Gary.
Yeah, it was alright. Long day at the hospital, so it's nice to come back, hop on and get a win under the belt. First one for a long while, actually. First one for a long while, and that Porsche, Nicky said in practice that he was looking forward to see the Porsche tonight. That looked an absolute dream for you out there. It looked like it was your perfect conditions and the perfect chance for you to get something under your belt. Yeah, Porsche done me well, really. I just got to have a little tweak of the brakes. They're not quite where I want them, but we'll have a little tweak and then hopefully get through the pack in race 2.
Yeah, you like these conditions, don't you? You like the greasy, slidey conditions. Is that helping you tonight, do you think?
Possibly, but it does help. I like the track as well, and I think I've got a pretty good setup here as well, to be fair. So, yeah, all in all, it's working well. I was quite fortunate in the first race with a couple of incidents that helped me out, really. I was stuck behind Mays for a little while till Dan dropped it, and then Mays went wide, and I managed to get up the inside instead, and just a few little things like that. I managed to get Andy in the pits by just chucking him around the outside of turn 1 and made it stick. So, yeah, it was, all good.
And double points tonight for yourself, obviously. Does this bring you back into play as the season goes on?
It's too early to say, but points make prizes.
That's right. Well, we'll let you get back to it, buddy. Congrats on the birth of your baby girl, and best luck for race 2.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
We hope to talk to Gary and the boys later on as well. Little poll up at the minute, and people tipping Sooty Apex for pole position at the minute. 40% to 20% for Maze, 20% for Exmart, and 20% for Peaceful Explosion. And I forgot to do the constructors' standings. It is Shake and Bake who lead the way, 19 points clear of Sandbags Motorsport. Slingshot Motorsport in third, 46 points behind. Leech Motorsport now up into fourth, ahead of Team Prolapse. Forever Forward Racing then just behind them, with Simplay Racing just off the 100 mark, and Audio Sport Prolapse up to 81. And what a first race. We get to do it all again right now, Nicky.
That was an awesome race. I'll tell you what, I said about the Porsches being on it for this race, but Gary, that was amazing.
Yeah, fantastic drive.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to him in the next race.
Absolute fantastic drive. And what that does do is that makes the Porsche 48 wins, so 48 race wins. So it's 2 wins away from the 100 mark, from the 50 mark at the minute. So the Porsche going good guns so far. Sooty Apex did say that he wasn't going to qualify. He does need to qualify. He needs to get himself ahead of Fury. But it's Maze on pole from Biggs from Exmar, Argent, Kelly, Peaceful Monkey Boy, and then Sooty, who has just put a lap in. Not a great lap, man. So I hope he is going to go for pole, because 50% of the votes have gone the way of Sooty Apex. In a minute, 23 people watching, 6 votes in. Get your votes in for who you think is going to get pole at this moment in time. And with conditions getting wetter, Exmar looks like he's done for qualifying. He will not get another lap in.
No, yeah, I'm quite shocked he's gone in the pits, really, because he seemed pretty quick right now. But yeah, it's Maze who seems to be throwing at Mercedes around at the moment on track. But
the last time Maze Gamer got pole was race 2 at Watkins Glen, and he took the race win there. So maybe more of the same for Maze, or is that Mercedes just too much of a handful in the wet?
I don't think it's that stable around here. It seems to be alright for a couple of laps, but yeah, it seems very twitchy. You did struggle with it through that first race, so no, I can't see it going for the win, to be honest. I'm still rooting for the Porsches.
Yeah, I think Gary coming from 14th could be one to watch in this second race. And as we are coming towards the second race, 28 seconds left. And Sooty Apex looks like he's going to take the majority of votes for pole position, but he isn't going to be on pole in this one. What we will do, because we got that poll up late, we'll get another poll up quickly now to see who will take the race win. And we'll end that poll on lap 9. As here comes Sooty then. Can he do what the fans asked him to do and take pole position? This will be an interesting one to see as he comes down the start straight now, and it's a long run till that line, and he'll be the first man to finish his laps. We'll then try and catch up. I think it might be the Ferraris that will be next to cross the line, so we'll have to jump back to them as Sooty does improve and goes P5 overall at the end. It will be Peaceful Explosion next to finish his lap. Behind him is... Didn't quite catch the car behind, because I think they've pitted as cars are diving into the pits. So it is only Peaceful, Maze, Monkey Boy and Kelly still out there on the track. But here comes Peaceful Explosion. What's he going to do? Any improvement on his time? Currently being out-qualified by KLF. Good qualifying for Kelly. Can Peaceful get to the line? He does, goes third. Good lap. Who's next? Kelly, Maze, or it's not Kelly. Is it Monkey Boy or Maze? It's Maze Gamer.
It is Maze, yeah.
So can Maze improve on his pole time while Kelly and Monkey Boy are out there? Peaceful, though. Heck of a qualifying lap from him. What can Maze Gamer do here, though? Is there any more time in this Mercedes-Benz? Will this give him provisional pole? He's already on provisional pole. And no, he's backed out of that, so that's a strange one. Is that Kelly's gave up? Monkey Boy then, the last man, 2/10 up on his time. Needs to find some 9/10 to get himself ahead of KLF. So
can he get Ferrari up on
top 4? Yeah, that's going to be the big ask, isn't it? Can he match his teammate's pace? Monkey Boy then round in the final corner. And what is he going to set? It looks like Maze Game is going to keep hold of pole position, to be fair. And it looks like Biggs might keep hold of P2. But here comes Monkey Boy now. He's 2/10 up in the middle sector. What can he do as he comes towards the checkered flag? And we get to the end of this session. Is there any more pace in Monkey Boy's Ferrari? Can he get ahead of Kelly? You'll have to wait and find out. And the answer is no. No in the end. So Maze Gamer takes pole position from D Biggs then, who comes across the line and gets P2. Peaceful Explosion will start in third with Xmart P4. Good qualifying for Xmart in that one. Argent then will be P5 in this qualifying session with Sooty Apex in P6. KLF will be in P7. Monkey Boy in 8th place. And then it's the first of the non-qualifiers then. It's Fury from Unorthodox, from Andy Lidlich, Emo Guy, Gary and BT Targa. And who's your money on for this race? The snow is back. So the rain has gone, the snow is back. So this is interesting now. Who's your money on for this race?
Oh, that's a hard one to call, isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. Gary's quite far back, so that's a lot to make up. I'm going to go for... I don't know. I think Dan's going to really fight through on this one, so I'm going to go for Dan.
Yeah, I can't really look any further than Gary. I think Gary's got the number here.
That Porsche just seems to be so planted in that Porsche.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? But Andy could be a factor, so don't discount him. Who's the third person we should add? Unorthodox, Andy, Gary. Who's the fourth person we should add to this poll? Because you can only add 4.
BT
Targa. So there you go. Get your votes in now for who you think's going to win this race. Master, Sooty and Argent brings back memories. Evil Scotsman, aka Emo, great racing there, Gary. Always love the back and forth racing. Jamie Brazier, Sooty's Dutch now. Sooty's been Dutch for a while, Jamie. Emo Guy, I was just saying the same thing there. Yeah, he's been Dutch for a while. And same as I've been South African, if those have noticed. On a Wednesday night. I'm South African. How come Sooty got to get ahead of me? Because it was reverse grid Fury. Sooty didn't start the first race, so therefore needed to qualify for the second race because it was reverse grid. So I hope that clears things up for you. 3 votes in, and Andy taking early votes. Gary's pulled it back. Dan's now got a vote with 5 votes in. Poor BT Targa, no one's voted for him yet, but the votes are still coming in at the minute. Mummy D, come on Fury, second chance, she says in the chat. And this, I can't wait for this one to get away. Here we go, Nikki. It's about to get underway, and this is exciting.
This is going to be a shocker into this first corner. I don't want to jinx, but let's see how it goes.
It's away here. Maze Gamer got a decent start. Oh, whoa! Peaceful Explosions. Ferrari straight into the wall. Not the best getaway from him at all there, and he's dropped right down to the back of the pack. That kind of gives Maze a free run into turn 1, and in they come, and all round they get. They're all through safely, nice and cleanly. Bar Peaceful in the wall. Ben Parkey, if Dan delivers and wins, please play the Postman Pat theme. We can't play that for copyright reasons. But yes, I'd absolutely love to. But already, Maze Gamer's got a good start from Biggs, from Xmart, from Monkey Boy. Little each up into 5th place already. Andy up to 6th as well from by the back of the grid. Kelly 7th. He's got Fury ahead of him. Kelly trying to keep his dad at bay. Gary's already underneath Dan, and he's past Gary. Gary's up to 8th.
Gary's on a flyer in his Porsche. Well, it's unbelievable. He's doing with that Porsche at the
he's absolutely gone. Fury ahead of Andy and Gary. Once again, the fight on. Fury, Andy, Gary, Dan. Then it comes Kelly and a trail of cars just behind him. Emo guy looking for a send it on Kelly just behind. Will he make that one stick? We'll see just there. They rub doors a bit, but Kelly will keep his nose in. Does he? No, not able to. And that's Monkey Boy round. So the Ferraris have had a nightmare first lap from by the front to now both at the back. And Gary just patiently waiting. But it's 2-time champ versus 2-time champ because Dan is on the back of him.
This is going to be a close race between these two. Dan's not going to want to give up on this one. He's going to want to fight through. He's going to want to try and get through this traffic as quick as possible.
Andy's... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Dan's going to be on to this one.
Andy's got himself ahead of Fury, so that's that job done there if you're Andy, and into another position. But now Fury has Gary gaining on the back of him. He's still got the slipstream of Andy. Mays has a 2-second gap out front. D-Biggs and X-Mart and Little Each, they're all close together. But here comes Furby up the inside. Gary thinks about the slipstream. They lean on each other. And D-Biggs having to defend from X-Mart. Fury up the inside of Andy. Is that one job done? Andy gives him plenty of room. In fact, too much room. Gary also wide. And does that invite Dan in? No.
No, he managed to get back together there, didn't he?
Out front, though, for second place at the minute. May's game had gone up the road. Biggs, a bit of track limits there, and maybe just running too deep because of these wet conditions. Obviously, track limits extended due to the wet. And at the minute, X-Mart trying to get underneath D-Biggs and into that second place. And here he comes. Can he look around the outside? No, maybe the cutback, not there either. But what battles we've got all night tonight, Nicky, up and down this grid. Little Each. Little Each was just behind these two. He's dropped down the pack. He's facing the wrong way. And he has dropped right down to 14th place. And he has got some work to do.
That is going to hurt him so much now.
Just to say, the poll at the minute, 9 votes in so far, 33% for Dan, Andy and Gary. Nobody's decided to press OBT, bless him. But Dan has got himself ahead of Gary, actually, on the standings at the minute. So Dan got himself ahead of the race 1 winner. And Gary now has to come back at him.
He's going to want to chase down Fury. He's going to want to get in front of Andy.
He will indeed. Emo Guy and Gary, a bit of a tap, bit of a ding-dong in the background. But both still going here. Look at the sort of run that Gary got on the back. X-Mart's dropped off the back of Biggs a little bit here. And Gary, I think, got a great run on the back of Dan. Look at that, right in the slipstream. And here we go. The Season 5 battle that Kelly built up at Donington Park between the two-time champs. Who's the wily old fox? And Gary looks like Dan's not covered it off enough. And Gary, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. P46. One of the places. In fact, Dan's not done this yet. Dan's going to fight Gary back here, and he's going to fight Gary back hard. But is Gary got the better run out of turn 1? Dan's going to have the inside line at turn 2. Dan has not given this one up. Fury and Andy still going. Is Gary going to go right around the outside of Dan like he did Andy? They lean on each other. They're pushing each other. This scrap isn't done yet. And Gary now through. But was he forced wide by Dan there? That one may have to be looked at the end of this race. But great hard fighting from these two.
Yeah, I think it was just getting so close.
Oh, Danny's round! He's gone! And another mistake from an Orthodubs. And that's Sooty Apex who's going to fly past Dan. And we know how hard Sooty can be to overtake at times. And what a shame.
Yeah, Dan is not going to be liking that. But that gives Gary a clear run. Now he's going to chase down Fury.
Gary's got a clear run at Fury, which X-Mart has been passed by Andy. So X-Mart's been caught and passed then by Andy. And Gary now, with that bit of pressure off the back of him, can have a go at Fury here, who's trying to have a go at X-Mart, looking up the inside into this left-hander. And that's tight, and that's why it's tight. Too much curb in your round, and Gary will get another one.
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah, he's like a man possessed tonight, is this boy. Two-time champ, back at his best. And Fury's got a lot of work to do now, as this one is continuing long into this race. Still at 33%, 9 votes in the chat for who's going to win this race. Mace Gamer, while all this has happened, has got himself a 3-second lead out front and has not looked back at this minute.
Mace seems to be, he gets a clear run and he's just going to fly off.
You did say, though, that the Mercedes seems to get a bit worse as the race goes on. So is it these early stages where Mays is able to capitalise?
Yeah, Mays seems to be brilliant in the first sections of the race. But, yeah, towards the end, he seems to struggle all the time.
Fury's got back ahead of Gary there, Nicky. I'm just noticing on the timing screen. Fury's back ahead. So that must have been done down the start straight. Gary's got to look to the outside on this long right-hander. What a night for this man. What a 2 days. Obviously, his baby girl was born yesterday. Came on my personal stream and said, announced it on there, so it was nice for him. And now he's having... what a night he's having here. Little Leach drops to 12th, though, after a spin. Dan down to 9th. So Dan's got work to do because he's got BT and Emo Guy to get past. But he's got to catch them first. Gary looking to the outside of Fury. Is Fury hoping Fury's going to outbreak himself? Exmore massively outbreaks himself there. Fury round the outside. Gary has to be a bit more patient. Can't get the move done. He's still on the outside of Exmore. He's going to look to go right around the outside of Exmore here. No, tucks it back inside. Gary... he's making that Porsche dance.
Gary, no matter what line that Porsche's on, Gary just seems to get it flying up. Even on the AstroTurf there, and he's just flying with it.
You get the feeling that X-Mark just struggling a bit there in that McLaren through that sector. Gary, though, through at the final corner. Bit of a wiggle, but he's through now and has the chance to catch Fury once again. Tucks back in front of X-Mark. So look at these three all in the slipstream. Double toe for Emo Guy. You sense he's going to get a right run here. And Gary can't defend from either X-Mark or Emo Guy down this start straight. Are they going to be three abreast into turn one? X-Mark definitely struggled at that last sector. Dan, though, the first car in the pits.
Yeah, he's going to try and make a few jumps on this one, but Emo Guy's made it through there.
Yeah, up the inside of both drivers there, so good move from Emo Guy. Dan then the first driver to pit. Peaceful Explosion follows him in as well. 11 votes now, and it's going in the way of Gary, but BT Targa has a vote to his name, so he's got one on the board. And Gary, look, round the outside.
Unbelievable driving.
Emo Guy comes back at him at that second part of the corner, but Gary's now up the inside of Emo Guy, and that looks to be job done. And Gary is just making this Porsche dance at the moment. Andy's past Biggs. So Andy up to second.
Yeah, Biggs seems to be struggling now with that McLaren. It's got so much understeer, and I don't know if that's what's catching Dan out, but...
Well, Dan's got a real task on his hand. I know the pit window's open, but Dan down in 14th place. He's got a real task on his hand to get back through this traffic now. And, you know, when will others pit? This is the big question now. When will others pit to get out of Dan's way, if you will? Obviously, they're not obliged to.
Together, so what will happen here?
Oh, X-Mart seemed a little off the AstroTurf there. BT Target still with him. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, Emo Guy and Gary very, very slow. Oh, Gary all over the place through that final corner. And that's give BT the run on Emo. It's give X-Mart the run on Gary. Emo Guy also has a run. And what's going off here is BT's looking for a slipstream. Not sure if Gary's pitting or not. In the pits comes X-Mart and Gary then at the end of lap 5. I'm not sure what happened there, though. That was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, did Gary have a little bit of a spin? And
possibly. Now, will that help Dan? But Gary going for the undercut. And Emo Guy up the inside of BT Targa, and that is Sooty Apex and Argent in the background. And Argent up the inside of Sooty Apex there. And Ben Plava, Ben Pargy, thanks to you. I had the Postman Pat theme song in my head all day today, he says, after last night's interview. Brilliant. Love that one. And look at this battle. Sooty Apex for the Audio Sport Pro Labs team here. Didn't get to see him in race 1. What's he going to do race 2? He's not going bad at the minute.
Yeah,
Dan's jumped Gary. Dan, after his spin, has jumped Gary.
Oh, wow.
So Gary must have had a bigger moment at that final corner than we thought, because he's been jumped now. And Gary's now got work to do, you feel?
Yeah, Gary's gone backwards, and yeah, that's not going to be good for him.
If anyone's got the pace here, it's this man to get back through.
Yeah.
You'd feel.
Maze.
Yeah. Fury's got himself ahead of D Biggs. May still leads this race by 3 seconds here. Monkey Boy in the pits. He's on his way out now and is nearly a lap down. These Ferraris have had a terrible, terrible night. But Fury trying to get back on the rear of Andy. And they're both trying to catch Mace. But Fury on the last lap, the only man in the 45. So he is flying out there at this moment in time. And Fury going good guns. Monkey Boy's just come out of the pits and is nearly a lap down on lap 6. Mace Gamer then leads on to the 7th lap of this race. The poll is open for 2 more laps. 22 people watching. If you haven't voted on the poll, get your votes in now. Might have to start using the poll for driver of the day, I reckon. D Biggs then into the pits.
Yeah, I thought I see a bit of a battle going on in the background, but obviously didn't. It looked like a few people, gone into the pits, so caught me out then. Little Leach into the pits, Argent into the pits. Argent's got the damage.
He has. Oh, what's going off there? He seemed to slow down massively then. Little Leach in, Biggs in, BT in, Argent in. The two McLaren. Oh, great stop, Little Leach there. Now, Gary was behind D Biggs, so we're not expecting him to jump D Biggs here. Biggs is already on his way. Where's Dan? Dan's got Argent. Dan's got Little Leach. Dan's got BT Targa, but he's not got his teammate. Can Gary get BT Targa? No. Neither did X-Mark there, so BT Targa stays out in front. And at the minute, Gary...
Gary's got past Little Leach.
Yeah, he's ahead of his brother there. And Gary... Oh, no, he's not. He's ran a bit wide, and that'll allow... Will it? No, it won't. Peaceful looks like he's going to get himself past Argent. That's job done, as well as Argent comes out the pit lane now. Bit of a slow stop for Argent. We have to say, here's Kelly. Where's he? He's running P6. He'll get a nosebleed in a minute. He's so high. But he's plodding along, bless him. He's still going in there. He's obviously learning a thing or two as he goes this season. And it's all a learning curve for him.
He doesn't enjoy the wet, does he, Kelly?
He's had some good races in the wet, though.
Yeah, Zuhai and the Pop was in the Porsches together.
Zolder in the Renault last season when him and Smithy had good results. So yeah, he's not bad in the wet. I think he prefers it dry. He might prefer it dry in that McLaren to wet though, because he does look like he's struggling even more in the wet than the dry.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing Kelly back in that McLaren seat next season.
No, neither do I. Sooty Apex then into the pit. So Kelly can't pit this lap because Sooty has came in at the end of lap 7. So we'll see Kelly up to P5. He's flying high at the minute. Look at him. Look at this, look. Get ready for it. This is an overtake for Kelly. This is an official overtake. So he's going to pass Sooty's car. Job done, Kelly. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Nice move.
Bless him.
He still goes. That's what I love about Kelly, is he doesn't give up. He still gets to the very end and he pushes hard all the way. And he's still going now, even though he's got guys on the back of him. Now, does Gary jump Sooty? I don't think he did. I don't think Gary got ahead of Sooty there. I think Sooty stayed in front of Gary 131. So Gary not making the progress I kind of expected him to make.
Yeah, Gary seems to be struggling this time, doesn't he? It's a bit unlucky, but still got a long way to go yet, so
the poll
count him out yet.
Going to end the poll there, because I said lap 8 will end the poll, and people have voted Gary will win this race. 6% said Emplava, that said BT Targa, and then the others was tied, as it'll pop up in a moment. There we go. 27% for Unorthodox and Andy. So interesting one to see.
Andy seems to be. Andy's in the pits.
Now
that was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, that's track limits on pit entry there. So did he have a moment on the entry to the pit? But he's in either way. Who's in with him? Emo Guy's in with him. And in comes Emo Guy. Fury now released to second. Dan and D Biggs ahead of KLF. So that's job done there. BT Targa's getting on the back of Kelly. Nearly on the back. Who's actually in the pits? Emo Guy. He's having a long stop here. And I tell you what, he could get mugged by a lot of these drivers then. BT Targa's not yet pitted, I don't think, has he? No, he has. Pitted. No, he's pitted lap 6. Yeah, no, he's pitted. He has pitted. Gary then still behind Sooty, not progressing through the field like we thought. Kelly's now in.
Gary's.
Everybody bar Mays and Fury. Kelly's just got a speeding penalty in the pit lane. Oh, Kelly. When it rains, it pours, and it's definitely doing a lot of that tonight. And work to do then for Kelly in this second race. Work to do still for Gary in this second race, who's still behind Sooty.
Fury is absolutely flying.
He's the only man in the 45s. He's really pushing hard to get to Mays Gamer here. These two are the only boys who haven't pitted yet. So will we see these pit now? Monkey Boy still a lap down because these two haven't pitted, and Kelly's come out a long way ahead of Monkey Boy, so it might not be 15th place for Kelly, but the race still got a long way to go. Fury does look like he's going to come in now.
I would go in. Yep. Good move.
Great decision that from Fury to get into the pits. Oh no! No, he's hit a puddle!
He's done this.
Oh,
no.
Fury! He's hit a puddle in the pit entry, and all that good work he's done has just been undone. You cannot make this stuff up.
He's going to be kicking himself now.
Great stop as well. Look at that, an absolute cracking stop. Monkey Boy's coming to unlap himself from Fury. Has Fury got enough to get out before Andy? That's the big question. Dan's now up to 4th. Gary's now up to 9th as well. Still haven't got past Sooty Apex. Gary not making the progression in this second race we expected. It's starting to rain with the snow now, so it's more sleet than snow. But Fury there...
Where has Fury gone?
I think he's sped in the pit lane. Does it say... Has it said anything on your race director box?
No.
I think Fury's...
He's gone.
No, he's in the pits. Press standings or timings. I think Fury's just been disqualified. Oh, no, yeah. He's not there. I think he's been DQ'd. I think he's sped in the pit lane and been disqualified.
Oh, no.
DQ for wrong way, says Fury. What? So has he had another spin? Has he had another spin? But either way, that's a disqualification, so it's not a retirement that'll go against him, but it's 0 points tonight. It's 0 points in this second race for Fury, and he was going great guns.
No, the only other person in 145 is Dan.
Dan flying.
Fury.
Maze Gamer still to pit. What has happened there, Nicky? Your heart bleeds for him.
Yeah.
Sooty's had a mistake. He's dropped behind Gary, Emo Guy and Little Each. He's dropped down to P10. That's more points for Kelly in this one as well. He looks like he's trying to catch Argent. But now Dan and Andy need to get ahead of Maze Gamer, who's not yet pitted. And his Maze Gamer's that far in front. He's coming through Sector 1. Or if I know, is that him at Sector 1? I don't know where Maze Gamer is. Yeah, that is him coming through Sector 1. That's how big a gap he's got at the minute, but he hasn't pitted.
Gary's on a bit of flying laps at the moment.
It said DQ for wrong way, says Fury in the chat. Oh, what happened there? Bless him. Is Gary now starting to come back? He's got Emo Guy on the back of him. Is Gary starting to try to get on the back of Xmart and BT and try and get some more points for double? These two, don't forget, are both on double points here. So they'll want to take an absolute haul of points, the best points they can get. They'll want to... I wonder, there's 2 puddles for him at the bottom of this pit lane. I wonder if Fury's hit that bottom one. And it's spanning round and he's gone backwards a little bit. And it's disqualified him.
That's just been an unlucky thing. Oh, I'm gutted for him. Absolutely gutted for him. He was doing so well and I thought he was going to get the undercut on Maze.
Yeah.
But Dan seems to be closing in on Andy at the moment.
Emo Guy's got past Gary, so not sure what's happened there. Gary just not gelling this second race with that Porsche. Just seems to be struggling a little bit. Yeah, not getting the best out of it. But your heart bleeds for young Fury. He'll bounce back better, though. He knows he can bounce back. He's not happy, says Laura in the chat. I can imagine that one. These two gaining on Xmart. Andy and Dan are both quicker than Maze Gamer. Maze Gamer's just started another lap. He should also just put a lap on KLF. So Maze Gamer needs to pit at the end of the lap he's on or the end of the lap after. Otherwise, he'll face probably the same penalty as BT Target.
A lot of lag there from Emo.
Yeah, a lot of chat saying that it was a bit of lag on Emo Guy in race 1 in the Discord.
Yeah, it's quite hard when you've got someone with that much lag, and you're so close to him, you don't know what way to go.
That was Peaceful's problem, wasn't it, last week, if you remember? A lot of lag, couldn't let him past.
Yeah, it's hard work because you don't know what way they're going to go. Because 1 minute they could be up the road, and the next thing they're parked on the apex. And it's very, very hard.
Here comes Emo Guy then on the back of Xmart. Xmart looks like he struggles at that final sector, and Emo Guy looks like he's going to... Excuse me, going to have the run on him here. Excuse me. And Gary just not able to keep with these boys. He said in the interview, didn't he was going to make some changes.
Yeah, he said, maybe he's changed his downforce or something like that. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem...
He's changed the wrong things, maybe.
Yeah, he should have just left it. Everybody makes that little mistake.
Now the snow looks like it's stopped here and the rain's back. So the rain back, snow stopped. It's been forecast on and off like this all day. Maze Gamer then rounds the final corner. And he's
pitted yet?
No, he's coming down the start straight, yet to pit. Right, well, Maze Gamer's got a pit at the end of lap 13. He's got to pit at the end of lap 13.
Who's Andy behind?
That is Monkey Boy, who moves out the way and gets well out the way as well. Dan's right behind as well, so will Monkey Boy stay out the way? Yes, he does. Nice and wide for Dan. And Dan probably goes a little deeper than he'd have liked there. Monkey Boy just has to go a bit slower. Not the race for these two Ferrari start, though. Peaceful's ahead of Argent, so he's in 11th, trying to score big. Both Porsches, actually. Little Leach is down in 10th, so he's not scoring that great in this second race either. So just struggling a little bit.
Perhaps these conditions don't...
It seemed to rain earlier, didn't it, in race one, whereas the rain seems to have come a bit later. I wonder if they will start to come alive now it's raining more than the snow. But, Sutty, 9th place. He missed out on points in race one. What can he do race two?
Yeah, he seems to be better this time. X-Mart seems to be a bit better on this race as well. He seems to be struggling on that last couple of corners, yeah, because Gary's now right with him. Dan back in the 59s. We reckon in and out 30-odd seconds. So Dan and Andy right on the cusp here of maybe catching Maze when Maze pits. Maze has got to pit at the end of this lap. Otherwise, that will be an investigation and a drive-through penalty. And it'll be myself who'll do a drive-through penalty to time it, how long it is in and out. And Maze here. He seems to be struggling now.
Yeah. Out the final corner on lap 13. He's got to pit this time around. And is he going to come in? He comes over towards the pit lane. And you know what? I don't think he's going to pit here. He has done very, very, very late. And in he comes. Does he manage to get it in just nice? Yes, avoids all the puddles. So in he comes now. Dan and Andy have work to do at this moment.
How quick is this pit going to be?
It's a bit of a long one in relation to what we've seen in the past. He's now away. I think he's got the hold of this race lead, but I think it's going to be very, very close to this man, at least. He's coming down to cross the line to start lap 14. He's just crossing the line now, and we'll start lap 14 of this race. Andy's at full speed. He's still got a bit to go here. This is going to be it's a puddle there. That'll slow him down a little bit.
Maybe that was the puddle that Fury.
Yeah, that Fury. I wonder. Andy then coming at him. And that's the gap. That is the gap. Andy to Maze. 14 laps out of 18. And game on now.
And Andy and Dan were lapping quicker than Maze.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, they're both just done a 45 there between them. So it's really game on for these last couple of laps between Andy and Dan. He'll want that race win back that he maybe thought he should have had in race one. He'll want to get it here. Peaceful gaining on the back of Sutty and Little each. And Gary's got past X-Mart, according to my timing screen. Yep. That one looks like it's... See, Gary now looks a bit better with the wetter conditions coming. Look, the car looks like it's just come alive a bit. Looks a bit quicker. Look, he's up on his best lap. Now that it's wet. You know, that's proper raining. I wonder if that bit of snow, just that longer period of snow, hasn't helped Gary. And now we're going to start to see the Porsche get a bit better in this race. Can he pick a few drivers off at the end? Tough ask.
He's got a lot catching up to do there. That's the trouble. I don't think that incident on that last corner with Emo guy has helped him out a lot.
No.
Let's put him back.
Yeah, I think that's set him back a little bit. Andy, gap under 1.5 seconds to Maze Gamer. So they're coming. Dan's only 2.5 back, so they're coming. There's Andy, and there's Maze Gamer. Now, we know that Maze Gamer's lap time this time around is going to be a bit poor because it was his out lap. But I tell you what, if Andy and Dan are still lapping in the 45s, Maze Gamer has got to be on it here. Maze Gamer actually gapping Andy in a straight line.
It just seemed the Mercedes seems more sketchy through the corners.
Yeah.
Andy and Dan seem more planted and...
Mid to low 46s for Dan and Andy there. And down into turn one they come now. And that's where Andy's gained about 2 or 3 tenths there on Maze Gamer. Maze Gamer's got to be on it every lap here. He can't afford to have a slow lap because the minute he loses a second to Andy, he's going to have Andy and Dan right on the back of him. Gary and Emo Guy still close together on the time screens. Little Leach and Sooty. Little Leach, in fact, got past Sooty now. And they've got Peaceful close to them as well. So Little Leach ahead. Peaceful just in the background of these two. There he is. Trying to get a top 10 in that Ferrari.
Struggling with the Ferrari in these conditions.
Yeah.
I think if it was dry conditions, I think Ferrari would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Here's Kelly. 26 seconds off the back of Argent. And with his 10-second penalties, he's ahead of Monkey Boy, no problem. Hort still has to bleed for Fury at the minute now.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely gutting.
Where's the race leaders? They're coming into this section. In fact, they're just behind Kelly. So this is where Andy might fancy catching up to Mays a little bit. Look, that gap's come down some. In fact, it's still coming down. Look at it. It's just dipped under the second mark. So that's definitely where Andy's got the upper hand over Mays Gamer through this last sector. And at this point last time round, it was 1.5 seconds. It was now just over 1. So Andy is a lot closer and just trying to get into that slipstream of Maze Gamer. And I tell you what, I think he's just doing enough because that time isn't going up as quick as it was last time. And Andy here starts lap 16. They've got 3 laps for Andy to get past Maze Gamer. And look at Mercedes twitching once again under braking. And Andy comes in and Dan into shot as well. Now, the thing is, for Dan, he took double points last week. It's his drop score. He needs to always finish ahead of Andy. So if Dan puts pressure on Andy here, that helps Maze Gamer out. But is Dan thinking race win, maybe?
Maybe. Dan's there. He's just... Is he waiting? Yeah, yeah.
You look at the last lap, and Andy took 4/10 off of Maze Gamer, and Dan took half a second.
Yeah.
So they're both coming, aren't they? They're both coming.
Is Dan waiting for that last lap mistake that Andy made last race?
Is he hoping that Andy gets on Maze Gamer and they have a bit of a coming together? Smithy in the chat, come on, Gary, a few more places, please. Well, he's not brought that gap down to Emo Guy, and he's lapping in the 46s now, lapping similar to the leaders. Little Leach has lost back out to Sooty once again. Peaceful's lost out to Argent somewhere. They're actually quite close on track, Peaceful and Argent.
BT and D Biggs look quiet.
Yeah, these are close, look. With Emo Guy as well, nearly.
Yeah.
And Andy, once again, before the last corner now, has that gap under a second. So will he be in the slipstream of Maze? It trips under 0.8 of a second coming through. Maze, bit of a wiggle. Very, 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 very wide. And this will give Andy the slipstream now down the back straight. And as we start lap 17, this might be what Dan has been hoping for. Get him in the slipstream. Dan has stayed to the right-hand side of the track. Andy wants the toe. He knows that Merc is quicker than him in a straight line. Andy wants the toe. A lot of weaving going on from Maze. I'm not a big lover of the weaving, I have to admit. Max Verstappen did it in the F1. I didn't like it then. I still don't like it now. I just think it's a cheap manoeuvre. And Dan was not playing the same games that them two was playing. But 2 laps to go. Andy's under a second. He's got a shout at this, surely.
Yeah, Dan played the same game as I did, but I got caught out with my own teammate who was weaving in front of me last night. But yeah, Dan played the same game as me, played it safe, but it didn't work out for me, but it worked out for Dan.
Oh, now that's Kelly. That's Kelly staying out of the way. So Kelly's gone a lap down, keeps well out of the way. And once again, Kelly's been lapped when there's a battle for the lead. He's been involved in the thick of it tonight as Kelly. Gap under 0.6. They hit a straight line, though, here. They hit a bit where the Mercedes just stretches its legs a little bit. But that BM under the brakes, look, really starts to close in on that Merc. That Merc's drifted wide. It's missed the apex. And Maze Gamer just starting to struggle at the end here, is he?
It's always the way. It just seems like towards the end, the Mercedes just start struggling all the time with them tyres.
Struggles through the right-hander, misses the apex there, and Andy is now within a stone's throw of him. He could give us the serial number of his gearbox. He's that close. Trying to go up the inside there. Maze, very, very wide. Watch the puddle, bit of a twitch. Andy looking to the outside. Maze tries to brake late. Oh, and just goes into the side of Andy under braking. Maze on exit wide, though. What's with the weaving? Master says he doesn't like it either. Dan within a second of these two now. Here comes Andy. Dan's with them. There's no weaving from Mays now, as Andy now thinks they're getting into the slipstream, and he's right on the back of Mays, and Mays in a straight line compared to Andy. Looks like he's just got the edge. Now the weaving starts again. I'm not a fan of this at all. It causes incidents. Silverstone at Cop's corner, but let's not get into that one. Mays, though, leads into the last lap. Has he gone deep on the brakes? No. Andy might have. Dan looking underneath Andy. Is that job done? Does this help Mays win this race? Andy and Dan side by side fighting. Mays, though, still struggling at the minute. Has Mays just won this race with Dan getting past Andy?
That was unbelievable. I see Dan coming down the inside. He was kept it cool and calm, slipped in between Andy. If Mays makes a mistake now, Dan's got him.
Dan will not think twice on this last lap to go for the race win. Here comes Andy. What a sending manoeuvre at the end. Dan, great to avoid him. And Andy says, I'm in this championship fight and I'm still here. Ran a bit wide on the exit. Keeps it in. I think this battle between Dan and Andy has just gifted Mays the podium. Maybe the race win. Let's see though. Dan coming back at Andy. Can he get it stopped? They tap. They touch. They're wide, both of them. Andy can't make the corner. And that will give Mays Gamer surely the race win.
That was so tight, so close. This rain's caught him out towards the end, but Dan is woke up. He's just snapped out of this little zone. And
yep. Knows he's got to get ahead of Andy. Was waiting for Andy and Mays to battle. They did battle, and he's pounced. Mays, though, looks like he's done enough here at the very, very end. Has he, though? I think he has. That Mercedes has been good in a straight line. Mays Gamer will take another race 2 victory. Done it relatively easy, you have to say, with incidents at the front. But look at this fight to the end. Dan versus Andy. Who's going to have the legs? Andy's just ahead. Andy's just ahead still. Is he going to keep it? No. Dan at the end. Dan takes second place. What a drive from Dan at the very end. Where's Emo Guy? He's moved up to 4th place, so he's going to get great double points tonight. A good solid 4th from him at the end. Nice job there. D Biggs looks like he's going to come home to take a 5th. It then looks like it's BT Targa to take 6th place. Great drive from BT. X-Mark stayed ahead of Gary for a P7. Gary then an 8th and a 1st tonight. Great stuff from Gary. Sooty Apex Little Each. My God, where's Little Each come from? This for 9th and 10th. Little Each side by side with Sooty. These two are now fighting to the line. Sooty's still in 10th. Has Little Each got the legs in the Porsche? I think he has. That looks like P9. Yes, to Little Each. P9 in the end there for him. Great job, Little Each, for that. 8th for Gary, 9th for Little Each. Sooty Apex will take a 10th. Peaceful Explosion's going to cross the line for 11th. For 12th. As Argent's got 11th. Monkey Boy a lap down 14th. Kelly a lap down in 13th place as well. Driver of the day, get our vote in the comments now. Nikki, your driver of the day we'll get in just a moment. Let's get Mays Gamer in for a quick interview while we check who got the fastest lap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty speechless on that one.
45.7, Andy is the fastest lap. So Andy will come away with the fastest lap. That does mean it's another win for the Mercedes-Benz. And that puts it on 15 pro wins altogether. And that puts it on to 62 wins overall here. And what a job. It was also a pole position for the Mercedes-Benz, which puts it on to 54 pole positions. But at the end of tonight, what a drive at the end. I'll just update the tables. Nikki, have you got Mays coming in?
For some reason, my friends list is not loading up again.
Okay, Dan, just try and get Mays in for me. I'm just updating the tables because Nicky's having problems. The tables look like this. Dan leads the way, 19 points clear of Andy now, who is second place. Fury obviously dropping to 3rd after his DNF. He's tied now with Gary 131. So Gary, right back in this title fight, you feel. Andy, though, still with double points. BT Targa, 64 points off the back, but he's still got double points to use. Emo Guy up to 6th on his double points night. Mays Gamer 7th with DBiggs 8th. Peaceful 9th. Xmar up into the top 10 with Sooty in 11th. Argent 12th. Disco 13th. Little Each goes above Monkey Boy for 14th. And KLF not far off the back of Monkey Boy in this one. Constructors looks like this. Shake and Bake lead the way, 24 points clear of Sandbags Motorsport. Slingshot Motorsport are down in third with Leach Motorsport gaining on the back of them. Team Prolapse are then P5 with Forever Forward 6th. Simplay Racing 7th and Audio Sport Prolapse in 8th. And I forgot who finished third in this race. I think it was Andy. It was, so we will start with Andy. That was a heck of a fight again at the end, wasn't it?
That was chaotic there on the last lap. Yeah, I was a little bit peeved about the last corner, end of the second to last lap. I don't know what I'm going to do about that one, but no, it was a good battle. And 2 P3s, I'm not too unhappy with that, but yeah, I don't know. Wasn't happy with some of the driving at the end.
You've got to feel happy with the 2 P3s. Yes, you've lost points to Dan, 10 points tonight to Dan, but knowing that you've got double points over him, surely that 10 points isn't too bad at this stage.
No, not at all. Especially with the double points. Obviously, having the double points does help a lot. You know, in terms of the championship, it's still going pretty well, but yeah, I don't know. The end of that race could have been a little bit cleaner.
Going into next week, Texas Road Course, halfway point of the season. What you're looking to do there in the BMW? Do you know that track well at all, or?
Not at all. No. I've raced it in a Clio Cup race, and I did absolute awful. So it's not really a track that I know very well. But having said that, this BMW seems to make me like tracks that I've never liked. So it's a car that I really enjoy driving. So maybe I might end up finally clicking with it. Who knows?
Well, we wish you the best of luck next week, buddy. Congrats on the fastest lap. Not seen any votes for Driver of the Day come in, but well done either way, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
We go to Dan now. 2 second places, but that was close on the last lap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit close, and I knew that the last lap was my last chance to try and stop Andy scoring more points. I went for a move, and I just missed my brake-in. I didn't know where he disappeared to, because I went to lift in the middle of the chicane. I noticed he cut the chicane, so either way he kept the position, but it was just a misjudge of braking, and nonetheless I walk away with second, quite happy, but I was just hoping that the two in front were going to trip over one another, and it got me a little bit closer, but just managed to nab them at the end. Yeah,
was you hoping that them two was going to have a bit of a battle more so that you could get close to the end?
I noticed me and Andy were catching Mays quite quickly on our own, and then as we got closer and closer, I just saw that Andy and Mays got a bit close. That gave me an opportunity to catch to the back of them. And it was last lap. It was either send it or... I attempted to send it, and it failed miserably. But either way, I was trying to give Andy the position back. But again, like I said, I don't know where he disappeared to, and he kept the position anyway. So, yeah, I feel like that end of lap was a bit messy.
Good night for yourself, though. Like you say, 2 second places. Go to Texas next week. What's the thoughts there?
Walk away with 2 second places, considering I had 2 spins. I'll be happy with that. I'll take that. But Texas, on the other hand, I just got to get rid of the downforce, and go as quickly as I possibly can.
Full Dean Wasaki?
Possibly. This is the only way to get the McLaren to work, so possibly.
Full Dean Wasaki. We look forward to it. Dan, best of luck tonight. It looks like Driver of the Day is going your way from the chat vote. Smithy and DJ Phil in the chat giving you Driver of the Day, and that's the only ones we've heard from so far. So congrats on the chat vote for Driver of the Day. And we look forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
Thank you, and I look forward to commentating at Azerbaijan on Sunday night.
Yes, make sure you tune in 7 p.m. GMT to watch Dan commentate on us F1 Azerbaijan Baku for round 5 of the season. Nicky might try and join him. It'd be a shame to not see Nicky on track again. But Nicky might be awake to join Dan in the commentary box this time around. Can more than 6 drivers finish? We'll put the polls up on the group, no doubt, throughout the week for that one. But nonetheless, Dan, congrats on the 2 second places.
Thank you very much, mate, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, cheers, boys. We've got Maze Gamer in as well, and Maze, very easy start, but a tricky end.
Yeah, I just had no tires left. I think I pushed the tires too hard in the first phases of the race, and I had no grip at the end.
It was a case of get off the line and do kind of what you did at Watkins Glen, just pull a gap early stages of that race. I think we've lost Maze.
Sorry,
Is it?
Yeah, it was like Watkins and just trying to build the gap and try to keep it. I know Andy and Onotados will be faster, so I just need to pull a gap and try to defend.
Going into Texas next week, halfway point of the season. Have you driven Texas much? What's your thought there?
Yeah, I drove I think in my last league. And the Mercedes was very impressive there with the straight line speed, so I'm pretty optimistic about it.
Well, we wish you the best luck there next week, buddy, and congratulations on your race win tonight.
Thanks, and cheers. Cheers for not those for a double podium for Pro Labs.
Indeed. Nicky, driver of the day and final thoughts from yourself.
Everybody's chosen gone for Dan, but myself, I'm going to say driver of the day for Gary, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'll be with you on that one. Final thoughts on tonight's action?
Unreal in the way. That was just unbelievable. Last race, them Andy and Dan crossing that line, that was just... But yeah, that was good racing tonight, very good racing. A lot of close battles, a lot of little touch and goes, little taps here and there. But yeah, brilliant racing again. Well done for the pro guys.
Yes, indeed. Well done to all the pro guys. Well done to everybody who is involved tonight. Cheers to have you in. I'm going to give Gary my driver of the day as well, because I think he's been brilliant. So he gets the commentator driver of the day. The fans driver of the day goes the way of Unorthodox. We'll be back, though, Sunday night, 7 p.m. GMT for Azerbaijan, the Baku Grand Prix, round 5 of a 16-round season. Can I continue to pull away out front, or will Green Pies be back? Will anybody be there to stop me? Will the walls stop me this week? Who's going to make the most pit stops? I think that was the biggest talking point, Dan, on Sunday. So who will make the most pit stops, DJ Phil or Gary 131?
I was going to say, can Aston Martin keep their front wings and not make them there and then? That's my question.
Yeah, we've decided to move a manufacturing factory out to Baku for the Grand Prix for Gary. But no, join us at 7 p.m. GMT for the Baku Grand Prix. We'll be back live next Wednesday and Thursday night for your Pro-Am GT3s. Dan and Kelly, Sticky and Sticky Junior in your box on Wednesday night, commentating on me and Nicky, if he doesn't hit his teammate once again. And then me and Nicky will be back in the commentary box commentating on these mad lads in the snow. But this time, it's not Daytona, it's Texas Road Course. From all of us here at Simplay Motorsport, take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.